everybody. Welcome to Impossible Coin. I want everyone to know that I literally saw a duck and sequoia pull onto my street, and I said, not today.
Did the fucking turrets get there?
I
put them on, 24-hour delivery. You should have had them by now.
There should be 16 turrets on top of your house right now, Brian.
There should be, but here's the thing.
Oh, my God.
God damn it.
No, it's not anybody on this show's fault. No, seriously. I get the ding-dong ditch, right? Ding-dong, and I go to my door, and there's the fucking thing from FedEx that says, we missed you. And I'm like, missed me? I've been here the whole time.
Miss me with that shit.
It says, please come to our sorting location to pick up your packages. I'm not going to fucking come to the sorting location to pick up packages. So I called the number to attempt to reschedule delivery, and they told me that they can reschedule delivery for Tuesday.
This was 3 weeks ago. It was a 24-hour delivery. What the fuck?
All package delivery services are under increased strain these days.
Fuck, do you guys remember when fucking Trump tried to blow up the post office?
I do.
Just so we couldn't vote? Do you guys remember that shit?
Yeah, he fucked with my pay, and I was pissed about it. So mad.
God, that's gonna be yeah, sure, Grandpa, let's get you to bed. That's gonna happen to me. Ah!
There's shit that Trump did, which people will have a hard time, but if the planet hasn't been destroyed in 40 years, school kids are going to be like, hey, yo, Teach, are you really telling me that he tried to blow up the post office?
Mm-hmm.
And made a guy who said in public, I hate the post office, the postmaster general.
Yep.
There was one, what was it? I remember there was an actual bill that hit committee that's an explicit purpose was to discontinue the Department of Education. It was almost the entire text of the bill. I feel like there was a bit more, but the main thesis, I think it was an actual sentence that I read was that the Department of Education will cease to exist by 2024. And I was like, what? Are you guys serious right now? And it was
Dumb population is an easier population to control.
Yep. Do you remember that time that he made Rick Perry a man who said he would disband the Department of Energy, the Secretary of Energy?
Yeah, and all he did was sit on his hands and blow up shit. Damn it. Fucking Rick Perry.
I'm really glad that we fell into some kind of terrible Trump hate spiral right now, because honestly, there's enough stuff on our docket this week that makes me angry that it's good to get the juices flowing. Do you remember that time that he made fucking Ben Carson, a guy with zero qualifications for the department, the Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, because he's like, that's the black department, right?
Honestly, I'm still mad about Ben Carson in general, right? But also Ben Carson was, supposedly a successful neurosurgeon. That was his job title.
After everything I saw, I would not want him anywhere near my brain.
Right. Neurosurgeons. Because I remember, at the time, when I was growing up, I was thinking about being a neurosurgeon. This is the thing I want to do with my life. And, a couple of people were telling me, oh, you should look into Ben Carson, right? And, Ben Carson was apparently a pretty good neurosurgeon. And neurosurgeons, on average, earn about, 300, 400K a year? Which, if we're really getting down to brass tacks, that's presidential money. Presidents get paid $400,000 a year. But this guy decided to not only leave his neurosurgeon life to go in a completely unrelated field and then lose and then take a pay cut running the Office of Housing and Urban Development. Why? What for? What? Oh my God.
Why the fuck not, my dude? Didn't he buy $15,000 worth of fucking China? And they were like, oh, that's nowhere in your budget. You got to return that. And they were like, no, I don't think we will.
Yeah.
We didn't know it was $15,000, but also we're not returning it.
I had to look this up while we were talking about Ben Carson because I couldn't remember whether it's a thing that really happened or a thing that was just so Ben Carson that a fever dream in my brain made it up. No, this really happened. You guys remember that time that Ben Carson got trapped in an elevator for 6 hours?
Yes.
Oh my fucking God. To this day, I'm convinced that just Ben Carson did something in the elevator. I'm still convinced that, like, he somehow trapped himself in the elevator. 4 years of Ben Carson at a cabinet level position, all we got was a guy who would, like, listen to conservative talk radio and be like, well, they seem to like hearing that, and then get out there and be like, yup, here you go, like, everybody has the right to earn an equal opportunity, and, like, say shit like that. And just,
Yeah.
dump him in the sea. Just dump him in the sea. God.
Okay.
Damn.
Okay, hold on. Guys, real quick. We got to remember ourselves. We're not a political podcast.
Oh,
I mean,
horseshit.
Thank God. Thank
We're
God
so-
we're not a political podcast. Could you imagine?
We are actually a podcast about video games. There is something in the video game world that I do want to talk about today. There's a game that we're all playing now called Blaseball. It is a fantasy baseball simulator, probably the most literal one, if we're being honest. I do want to say, first, congratulations to the Canada Moist Talkers, because they did actually win Season 14. But we gained the ability to customize our stadiums this week. And everyone that chose to add psychoacoustics to their home stadium had a new entry on their rosters, which is an iteration of Wyatt Mason. And this time they were numbered from Wyatt Mason 1 to Wyatt Mason 10. Weird things happen in Blaseball, but why did all these people get a new player named Wyatt Mason from the void? And I did some digging and I found out that this is actually the second Wyatt Masoning.
What?
It turns out back in Season 3, the LA Tacos, now the LA Unlimited Tacos, had an event after the election of Season 3 where every player on their team was renamed to Wyatt Mason.
Did they do that in hopes of confusing other players or something?
Sort of, like, because the stats didn't change. That's important. Because they still had a full roster and those rostered characters didn't change.
Right.
All their names just became Wyatt Mason. During the off-season, it was quote-unquote fixed, but they didn't say how, and the Wyatt Masons were gone. But now we got Wyatt Masons, and I'm not sure if they're actually generational, but they were actually numbered Wyatt Mason the 1st, Wyatt Mason the 2nd, all the way to Wyatt Mason the 10th. And they also mysteriously disappeared from rosters as Season 14 continued. The only ones going into postseason were Wyatt Mason the 4th and Wyatt Mason the 10th, which were on the LA Unlimited Tacos and the Seattle Garages specifically. In fact, Wyatt Mason the 4th saw some play. I think he actually pitched in Game 3 of its series against the Magic. For the most part, they've disappeared. But yeah, we had a bunch of Wyatt Masons all of a sudden. It was weird.
Will they come back?
Almost certainly. I actually hope that the third Wyatt Mason is actually like our third Impact. But, you know, we'll get there when we get there.
How did y'all close out your Blaseball seasons? Your snack pack do you right? Are you confident in your snack choices?
My stacks are fine. I've definitely like sworn off betting. I feel like I get enough coins to do just about anything I want.
Right.
But I think my current strategy, because the last two elections haven't been super attractive to me, I think I'm just going to do my postseason, like, spending on infusions and, like, you know, working on our roster, and then, like, mid-season spending on, like, stadium improvements. Because, you know, I want another championship. That's what I want.
My snack pack did fine. What I've started doing is the Ohio Worms Twitter. They post like a poll, not a poll. They post like a Google, like a quiz, not a quiz, a survey, a Google survey. That's the word.
Okay.
And based on the decisions made in the Google survey, that's what we do for the next season. And so they asked us like what we voted on, how many votes we cast for it, like that kind of thing. To try and do the thing. But we really want a 0-win season next season. We were so excited because we started out, we lost all of our first round games and we were really excited. We were like, this is the 0-win season. And then we won. And we were like, no, we wanted the opposite of that. So this time we're going once again for a 0-win season. We're gonna get there. We want to get in that dirt and dig down deep, like the worms we are.
Oh my god.
I'm so pleased. Stockpiling my votes, right? I'm like really dumping them. Really paid off.
Mm-hmm.
Like, a shit ton of votes into infusing Brock Watson. And Brock Watson got infused, baby. Like, so that's great. The things that I'm worried about is, like, my idol's not on my team. I selected Jessica Telephone for my idol.
Sure.
And Jessica Telephone got plundered by the pies. So I'm not sure about all that. But as far as, like, the balance of my snack pack goes, my snack pack did me very, very right this season. With my Wild Wings being 50 and 49, my perfectly balanced combination of popcorn and stale popcorn with that record hit a sweet, sweet spot. Basically, no matter what my wings were doing, I was winning. So...
I mean, that's the ideal betting situation.
Absolutely. Like, Wild Wings win, hooray. Wild Wings lose, also hooray. But with Brock infused, I'll have to, like, definitely keep an eye out on, like, what I need to have my ratio be. I got rid of my peanuts altogether. You know, like, I was just like, you know what? Like, I'm not really getting anything out of my peanuts. Maybe it's time to get rid of them. So, like, I replaced my peanuts with, I'm blanking. Which snack is it that gets you 1,000 coins every time a player is incinerated?
Oh, it's a new one, too. Shit.
Yeah.
With that one.
Yeah, anyway, so I got that. Because, like, you were only able to, like, get it during a very limited time.
Or was it the Sundays?
Sundays are allowed for tarot readings.
No, the 2 scoop Sundays.
Oh,
is that the item?
Yeah, the 2 scoop Sunday. Because the Sunday is different than the 2 scoop Sunday.
Right.
Actually, tarot spread, I'm just realizing, because I'm stupid, looks like an actual spice. Like a spread.
Yeah. Like a jam. Or a jelly.
Yeah. A lot of good stuff. Blaseball was weird this season.
Mm-hmm.
We're now in an off season. And I dig that because generally whenever, like, we have an off season, Blaseball returns much weirder. So, see you April 5th.
Do we not always have a off season?
No, like, instead of, like, coming back next week, it's going to take a couple weeks off.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Like a real sport.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. And generally whenever that happens, it returns with, like, much weirder shit. So...
I want to know when the rat armies are going to invade. I'm betting hard on rats. These stadiums are disgusting.
They are filthy. That's true. Oh, man. I'm more interested in, like, what maximum Blaseball is going to be. Because, like, there's definitely a whole team that has, like, a mixture of maximists and minimalists that play better or worse in maximum Blaseball. So, I want to know what that's about.
Yeah.
For those of you listening at home, I still have no fucking idea what I'm talking about. I'm saying, like, it's essentially I'm saying word salad and the words I'm saying are the right ones. It's great.
Okay.
Nobody's gonna know. They're gonna know.
But now we actually have an interactive activity. Oh, I should probably put this in our show doc. So for people that subscribe to our Patreon, they will have access to a link that points to Quantic Foundry's gamer motivation profile. And we're going to take this profile and identify our gamer motivations live for you on the show. To be honest, I know very little about this profile. I just know that I saw it. But its methodologies seem sound. It is specifically about video game experiences versus other gaming experiences like tabletop or even like live action or like sport related things. So, you know, take it with a grain of salt for those types of things. But for gamers, it's definitely your one-stop shop. Does everyone have their link open?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And we should be looking at a page that is asking what your gender is. We're not going to say it so loud on the show. That's your business. But the next question is, how old are you?
200,000 years old.
Jesus Christ. I didn't know that you were one of those anime characters, Tegan.
Oh, you know it.
Okay. I'm going to put that in too. So, our third question, which is, in a typical week, how many days do you spend at least 30 minutes playing a video game?
These questions are already hard. I don't like it.
So here's the thing. My normie answer would have been like 4 to 5 days out of the week, but I know that's a lie. I'm pretty sure I'm playing at least 30 minutes of some video game every day.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm just going to click 6 to 7 days there.
See, I still think I'm only doing 4 to 5 days.
Okay.
Because there are days where I'm just sitting on TikTok all day. All day.
Oh, Rocky had a breakthrough in sharing TikToks with Brian Technology.
Oh?
What is it?
He sent me a TikTok that he wanted me to watch on Twitter, which I watched it immediately.
Oh, so I have to send you 500 fucking tweets? You want me to tweet you every I am creating for you a custom for you page, Brian, and you are not checking in on it to let me know how I'm doing.
I mean, Tegan's feed is consistent. It's a whole thing.
It's a good one.
She's trying to get me on Japanese real estate TikTok, which, you know.
I really am. It's fun. Japanese real estate TikTok is fun.
Okay, back to the gamer motivation profile. The next question is, would you consider yourself to be a casual gamer? Which is you dabble in games, but in short sessions or infrequently. A core or mid-core gamer, which means you regularly play video games, but are not super serious or competitive. Or a hardcore gamer, which means you have high-end equipment and play seriously or competitively.
Oh, I know.
What?
Yeah.
Talk to me, Brian.
Okay, like, I hate this, but...
Why?
Speak on it, man. It's a podcast.
Tell me your logic.
Okay. So, I like the way that hardcore gamer is defined here as, like, you're competitive or you spent a lot of money.
Sure.
Yeah, that sounds right.
That's garbage.
Talk to me. What's missing from that definition?
Somebody who bought a $4,000 rig and is now sitting there going, Minecraft, is somehow a hardcore gamer because they have an expensive computer.
I don't know, dude. Like, Minecraft is actually a pretty deep game. The level of customization that's available to it can actually be enabled by, like, high-end equipment. I agree that there are some people that'll spend, like, $3,000 on a rig and play, like, standard Minecraft, and I'm not sure I'd call them a hardcore gamer, but hopefully the respondent to this survey would recognize that. But I'm not sure. Because it does say you have high-end equipment and you play seriously or competitively.
And define seriously.
I mean, I think that's a pretty simple definition. Personally, like, serious people are the people who are, like, speedrunning Animal Crossing. Intentionally or not.
That's competitively.
No, I wouldn't say it's competitive, because it's not that they're speedrunning. It's because they're, like, hyper-focused on the game.
Right.
It's not a competition at that point. They just want to get to the next part and want to get to the next part and want to get to the next part because it's a hyper-focus.
Right. I mean, there is a difference between people, like, say, like, people we complained about on the show about before, like, people who are racing to get to 5-star with, like, all the cat villagers and make a YouTube video so they can talk about it.
Right.
But there are simply people who are doing the same stuff, but they're not telling anyone about it.
Right. Or they're only telling their friends about it.
So,
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Derry, okay. So that means that what we're talking about now
mm-hmm.
is, I guess, also kind of informing the definition of competitive.
Sure.
Because what we're saying is that serious and competitive players are essentially the same, just the difference is whether or not they publicly disclose their behavior.
Maybe not generally, but I guess what I'd say that those are the difference between serious and competitive. However, the thing that serious and competitive have in common is the level of intensity that comes with their play.
Yes, I'd say that's accurate. Brian will remember that.
He will! It's gonna come back! I can't wait!
Thank you for clementining me, Tegan.
Yeah.
That's exactly what... Yes, Brian will remember that.
Brian will remember that and bring it up in a conversation about something else during Game of the Year, and we're gonna fucking lose it.
I'm kind of interested. I want to see that come back. I'd love to see those things come back.
So I guess I'm gonna click mid-core gamer, whatever the fuck that is.
Well, you regularly play video games, but
yeah,
like,
you regularly play video games. That's it.
But apparently, I'm not serious about it.
Are you not serious? Once again, Brian, this is a personal decision. Like, I know we're doing this as a group or whatever, but like, you're answering a survey.
Oh, no, I get that, but like the survey has prompted a response. Because like the way we're defining serious behavior is unannounced competitive behavior. Like the person who is trying to Mido skip an Ocarina of Time, but like doesn't tell anybody about the Mido skip they did.
Okay, Brian, that is one example of serious gameplay. If there's another one that you feel is relevant, we can talk about it, because once again, we're on a podcast.
Okay. I mean, that's true. That this is the ideal.
This is to facilitate conversation.
I just think that there's like different ways of engaging material.
I'm interested in that.
You know, examining the way a game reflects the world that created it. Looking at like the way a gameplay. Okay, so like I'm thinking about like the way I played NBA Jam last year, right?
Okay.
I got way hard into NBA Jam, and then like the year before that, I got way hard into Final Fight.
Sure.
And I wouldn't describe the way I engaged with those games in any way as being competitive.
Sure. Fine.
But I feel like what I did with it was like this holistic, synergistic deep dive of playing the game while examining its position in history. And like, I wouldn't describe that experience as anything less than serious.
Sure.
I wanted to know about these games' place in our world.
Uh-huh.
Which doesn't describe, well, yeah, you know, you're not serious, but like...
Who said that? Brian,
No.
who the fuck told you that bullshit?
Well,
I think Brian just told himself that bullshit.
The idea that Brian is, like, intensely engaging with the subject matter and the context in which it exists is definitely a serious undertaking. And if you don't want to call it serious, that's fine. That's your right. But... I don't know. I feel like most people would call that serious, even though it's not necessarily mechanically intensive.
okay, all right.
Yeah, I don't think serious has to be mechanically intensive. I agree with that.
Okay, I'm not necessarily accusing any one of us on the show of saying that.
Yeah, sure.
I just think that, like,
Fine.
it's some of the lingual choices of this particular page,
Mm-hmm.
where they're kind of, like, conflating them by the way they phrase it, like, in mid-core gamer and hardcore gamer, that they're marrying serious and competitive.
Right.
I want to go on the record as saying that, like, I don't think any one of the three of us said that. I thought it was the implication of this survey. Is that fair?
Mm-hmm.
No, that's fine. I think it's still a matter of intensity.
Yep.
But I do understand what you're saying, and I can see how that would discourage people from identifying as hardcore in that situation.
Yeah.
I believe I fit very comfortably into midcore.
For sure.
That's just the vibe.
Right.
Mm.
There's also some, like, social shit around people who call themselves hardcore gamers, which, like...
Yeah, but we're not talking to them. We're kind of
Okay.
talking about them. Like, if they want to fight about us being hardcore, that's fine. We'll fight them when that's necessary, but that's not who we're talking to right now.
Fair enough. All right, I clicked the thing.
Okay. The next one is which of these platforms do you usually play on? Check all that apply. The options
Yes.
are consoles. Fun fact, they put console here and they put Nintendo Switch, but in parentheses they put docked with TV. We'll come back to that. The next option is PC/Mac, desktop / laptop, smartphone / tablet, which includes iOS, Android, etc. Then handheld console, the first entry of which is Nintendo Switch, in parentheses, undocked handheld. And then PS Vita, and then VR, which is Oculus Quest / the Rift, Sony PlayStation VR, etc.
I'm Captain Everything.
For sure.
I do agree with that distinction, though, because I feel like that's the difference between a Switch and a Switch Lite, you know?
I guess it's fair, but, like, I feel like handheld could have been in both without, like, the parentheses. I feel like the parentheses, like, if anyone's seen a Nintendo Switch before, like, there's like, yeah, this deserves to be in both. But, like, it's just like, no, actually, I play primarily on dock, so maybe I shouldn't click myself in a handheld. But I don't know. It's a
No,
certain.
I think that's fair. Like, I think the way you engage with the hardware is relevant. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's also, like, for people who are like, oh, I play the Switch, but I don't know, is that a console or is it a handheld?
Yeah.
Because that's still a thing that people are talking. It's both. It's both. It's both. It's the
It is
best of
both.
both worlds.
it's why it's
like-
called the fucking Switch.
It's literally in its name.
Okay, so our next question is, what are some recent games, in parentheses, released in the past few years that you have enjoyed playing? I'm going to see. Wait, okay, so it's searching for the stuff that I'm saying. Okay. I'm going to try to press this thing a little bit.
Alrighty.
Near
Replicant and Near Reincarnation are on here, even though they aren't out yet.
I would love to see which database they're pulling from.
Oh.
Wow. Okay. Hold on. Give me a second. It seems like it's input by users. Or at least it's modifiable by users. Let me see if I do... Okay, so I looked for Monster Hunter World Iceborne first, and that didn't show up at all. But when I shortened to World, it corrected, and it identifies it. But when I put Iceborne, it gave me the option to add it to the repository.
Oh, that's cool.
Also, each of these games have IGDB IDs. I'm going to try digging, because Brian will probably put NBA Jam.
I didn't try and put it because it said recent games.
Sure, but that you've enjoyed playing, that you've been playing. But here's the thing, NBA Jam, there are 11 iterations of NBA Jam here.
Interesting.
Dating back to 1990, which is technically Pinball Jam, but Pinball actually contains the letters NBA, which is why it shows up in the search. But the first bespoke NBA Jam listed here is from 1993. I'm going to check. Okay. They have Okay, so they have all of the Paper Marios, and they have Mario and Luigi Paper Jam as well. That's interesting.
I feel like I'm already gonna be attacked by this database. I don't know if I'm prepared for that emotionally, but it's gonna happen.
Okay, hold on.
This thing just basically told me, oh, you haven't enjoyed any game since 2017. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Tegan, real quick.
Yeah.
Is your IGDB number still in the range of the 30,000s, or are you down to the 20,000s?
I'm in the 10,000s, 12,000s.
Okay. I put Mario Luigi Paper Jam on my list just to see where it'd end up.
Mm-hmm.
And that came out in 2015, and that's 11,000. I want to check NBA Jam. I want to see if it's actually chronological. NBA Jam is at 8,000. Wait, Brian, those NES games that you played, named character something adventure?
Oh, shit.
Talked about in Game of the Year.
Yes. Linus Spacehead's Cosmic Adventure.
There we go. Okay. Linus. Let's see what you get for Linus. Okay, so they have Linus' Spacehead's Cosmic Crusade. Wow! Its ID is actually higher than the rest of them. It's at 48,000. Which means either someone entered it recently, or these aren't actually chronological.
I don't think they're chronological because all of my options came up and said this is not in our catalog yet. Click to add it.
Tegan, you should add them to the catalog then.
How do it just says click to add them.
Right.
And then I click them and nothing happens.
Okay, give me a second. Also, fun fact, Loop Hero, which came out last month, its ID is actually 141,000, which means IGDB is actually pretty big. Okay, so let's try... I'm playing around with this thing, sorry about this. Mr. Mosquito. Mr. Mosquito is not in the catalog. So, okay, so if you say...
Wait, is Mr. Mosquito a game?
Yeah, it came out on PS2.
Okay. It's also a bug service up here.
Oh, okay, no, yeah.
Because there are signs around for Mr. Mosquito, a bug care company, to get rid of the bugs.
It's definitely a video game that came out for the PS2, but it was spelled differently, like Moskeeto and PAL.
Oh, okay. Huh. Neat.
Okay.
I learned a new thing.
So, Tegan, when you say click to add it and you click on the thing, when you click next, it should just save that thing and it'll add it to its database. I guess we can check that on IGDB.com, which is where these things come from.
That's all right.
Okay, so we can move on to the next question. The next question are you playing any web, mobile, or tablet games? I guess I gotta add I Love Hugh here.
I had a Genshin Impact. Genshin Impact counts.
For sure. I mean...
Oh, does League of Legends count? Yeah, it does.
Wait, really? Why?
Yeah. It's a web game, I guess. League of Legends Wild Rift.
Oh, Wild Rift is actually mobile. For sure. Okay, so this doesn't actually seem to say differentiating on itself whether or not it's a mobile game. because it's also showing Ruined King, a League of Legends story, and I'm not sure if that's announced for mobile. Like, I'm just going to try something. I'm just going to try typing in Pokemon Silver. Yeah, so it just lists all the Silver games, like, regardless. So this particular question isn't pulling specifically from web mobile, so you could just type anything in, I think, that's still a video game.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
And I guess I'm going to also count Teamfight Tactics. I mean, I haven't played it in months, but... Oh, no, so that doesn't count. What else am I playing? Oh! Shit. What is this stupid furry mahjong game called?
What is the stupid furry mahjong game called?
Give me a second. It's called Kemino Mahjong. There it is. Because I still play it, because it is actually one... Oh my god, it's on their list! It's in the Quantic IDs versus IGDB. But yeah, it's listed here. But it is one of the better, like, mahjong simulators out there. And I don't need other people to play with me, which is nice. Because, like, fucking Final Fantasy XIV has an excellent mahjong simulator, but no one wants to play mahjong. More people want to play mahjong on, like, Clubhouse Games 51 Worldwide Classics, but they're nowhere near as many as, like, more popular, faster games, like, say, chess or Hanafuda. Okay. The next one is, are there any other games you have enjoyed recently? So I guess this is the thing, Brian. Like, if you were playing games but weren't necessarily recent, on the other question, you could put more non-recent games here.
Yep.
I'm going to add Darkest Dungeon here. And I'm also going to put Sheeran. Wow, hold on. It's like all the Sheerans here. Jesus. But they don't actually have... Oh, no, there it is. Sheeran, The Wanderer, The Tower of Fortune, and Dice of Fate, but they have 2010, which is fine because it's a port. And more non-recent games.
This is hard. I don't remember anything. What have I been playing recently?
Have you played Prey recently?
Not recently.
Oh, shit.
Should revisit that.
Okay, no. I was going to put Final Fantasy Chronicles here again, but I remembered, like, I like it. I still really like that game. But I don't think I enjoyed it, is what I'd say. It's more that I, like, got through it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because, like, there was just so much fucking jank in that game. I do appreciate that they have 2 separate entries for Final Fantasy XIV Online, like, acknowledging the, you know, the failed release in 2010, and then the re-release 2013.
They have Link's Awakening DX, and the Link's Awakening on Switch. They have all of them listed.
Nice.
Yeah. It's a good day to be a Zelda fan.
Brian, I'm sure your stuff is filled out without issue.
It is filled out without issue.
Okay.
Brian's over here like, I like video games and I remember what games I play.
Okay.
I have a working memory.
So the next thing is asking about things in, like, levels of importance. It has, you know, the very familiar extremely to not at all important scale that we've seen in various surveys. And the first thing is taking the time to practice and master the game.
How important is that?
Yeah.
Oh, no, my first thing is taking on difficult challenges that may take many tries to succeed.
Oh.
Okay.
I just got that one. That one's my second one.
That's my first one. How important is that? I guess... Oh, I don't know. I guess somewhat important? I don't know. Having many customization, colors, design, style, skins. Oh, no.
Okay, so I think
it's like, you're a girl. That's very important to me.
So, Tegan, so in my raid group, right? Glam is very important to a couple of people in my group.
Uh-huh.
And Max, who's our samurai, who's definitely, like, you know, he's a buff boy or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He loves glamming up his character. He does play a female character, so there is that. But, like, there is a regular complaint from him. You know what one of the things that Square Enix needs to do? They need to increase the number of glamour sets we can have. Because 15 is nowhere near enough. They said it's because of, like, memory concerns on the PS4. But, like, I'm playing on fucking PC. Just give me the thing.
Yeah, no, he's right.
Also, our summoner, Demi, like, he's a raider. And he's an endgame raider. He's done ultimates. Like, content that, like, 2% of players do or whatever.
Right.
But, like, every time I see him, he's, like, showing off his new glam, and he's like asking about like these new pieces, and like he has literally like every glamour piece in the game memorized. Like he's just like, yo, I see those steer hide shoes, those are nice. And I'm like, what? I barely paid attention to these when I put them on, and like he's been like that for years. Like, I don't know. I don't think it's just a girl. I agree that it's a
just
stereotype.
like looking cute. I just want my character to look cute. Now wants me to know how important getting to know all the main characters and their backstories are. Extremely important, excuse me.
I do play, like, video games often for, like, abnegation, but, like, this particular, like, question is, like, pretending that I am someone or somewhere else. How important is that to me?
Ooh.
And I'm interested in this.
It wants to know now how important getting every possible star trophy or unlock in a game is.
I've seen them.
Not super important. Slightly important. Dominating other players.
Some people explicitly play to dominate other players, which is like the entire reason we have scrub quotes.
Hi, darling. Are you going to be Lisa's little helper today? Is that what they mean? Hi, darling. Oh my god.
Getting every possible star. I'm going to put my foot down, and like, I am not a completionist. I don't think it's actually important at all, personally.
I should have added Splatoon on my list. I bet my thing would have been
I think
different.
the questions are definitely just randomized, Tegan.
Yeah. Playing the game at the highest difficulty level. User to lose it, I guess. Making an effort to get every collectible item. Oh, I like making an effort.
Okay.
I guess.
Tegan, how do you feel about accumulating large amounts of in-game resources or currency?
Ooh, I love being a rich bitch.
Brian, how do you feel about being a rich bitch?
Is it fun to become rich?
No, okay.
Isn't important.
The question is it important that when playing a video game that you become a rich bitch?
No.
Okay. But are you saying that it's not at all important? Or it's just simply, like, not very important?
It is not very important.
Okay.
I'll steal some fucking oranges in Sneaky Sasquatch. I mean, I'm here to steal the oranges.
For sure.
Yeah.
But it's more about, like, the act of stealing, not the acquisition of, like, the resources.
Okay. So, Brian, I think this question that I just got is going to be more suited to you. How important is it to discover offbeat or unconventional ways to play a game?
I clicked shit yeah on that. Like, they had, like,
fuck yeah, that's my jam.
They had, like, the 5 regular choices, and then there was, like, one surrounded in neon with an arrow pointing at it that said, shit yeah, let's go, and I clicked that.
It said, Brian, we know you.
Yeah.
Oh, it's thinking. Completing all possible missions and achievements. I like completing all the missions. I don't care about the achievements, though. So I guess I'm going to be in the middle here.
Like, I feel like doing all the content is important, but, like, I feel like achievements are specifically, like, signposts, right? And, like, there are definitely situations in which, like, achievements don't serve to guide you toward more content, but simply try to keep you more engaged with the game in a way that doesn't benefit you as a player.
I'm here to say that we are 7 years out from Undertale, and people still haven't learned the lesson of that game, which is that, like, are you sure you want to see all the content, you monster? Like,
right.
Yeah, something to be said about letting who you are guide your experience.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was firmly in the middle on that. Like, it's not super important for me to get all the achievements. I like completing all of the quests because I feel like that gives me the most story, you know? And the story itself is what's important to me.
I mean, I know that, like, sometimes, like, you know, smart developers, what they'll do is that they'll put achievements in place to, like, encourage players to explore and find things that aren't especially tied to, like, the main quest. But there are also, you know, other kinds of developers that will specifically put bullshit achievements in front of you that don't really get you novel experiences, but keep you playing their game longer. They know that, like, that, like, good achievements, like, encourage people to play the game, and they use that as a trap to get people to engage more in their, like, otherwise shitty game.
I think the best achievements are the ones that are kind of tongue-in-cheek to the game. I just got the achievement the other day in Genshin Impact, and it says, you're just messing with you could hear Paimon the whole time, and it's for adjusting the dialogue volume.
Mm-hmm.
And it was because I was listening to something else in the background, so I was adjusting it down, and then I adjusted it back up, and it was like, they have Paimon talking the whole time, so you can hear, like, how loud the volume is. And then at the end, she just goes, hey, could you hear me the whole time? Were you just messing with Paimon? And then the achievement popped up, and I was like, oh, that's fun.
That's actually pretty cool.
Like, it's just a little thing.
I have a question that I'm kind of struggling with, which is an elaborate storyline. They're trying to determine its importance. I am very inclined to say that it's at least very important, but I feel like that's an impulse that's, like, driven by, like, a fear that if I admit that I don't need elaborate storylines, then I'm going to get less elaborate ones by, like, default. Kind of like, you know, like, developers seeing what they can get away with. Because, like, storylines affect gameplay, and it's obviously more work-intensive.
Mm-hmm. I gotcha.
And it's just, ugh.
Well, okay, so here's a way to look at it. Kingdom Hearts is an elaborate storyline. Is the storyline of Kingdom Hearts super important to Kingdom Hearts, or is being able to run around with all your favorite Disney pals more important to Kingdom Hearts? So like, the quintessential experience.
I mean, I get... So, the counterpoint that I'm driven toward is, like, 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim, which is, like, also a very elaborate storyline, and, like, the difference is, like, the amount of care that's handled with it, which I feel like should be an implication to your storyline being elaborate, but Kingdom Hearts has taught me that it doesn't have to be. And, you know, they could still sell millions of units. And so, I think I would prefer, if given a choice, a well-cared-for, simpler storyline than an elaborate one that is ill-cared for. I feel like the care is more important than the complexity.
Well, there you go. You just answered your question.
Yeah, fuck me. I think I'm just going to put...
The care is more important than the storyline itself.
I'm going to put somewhat important. That's what
it is somewhat important.
I actually think customization is very important to gameplay experiences, so I'm clicking that. Becoming as powerful as possible. See, this is the thing. So, like, I hate, like, watching the numbers go up. Like, well, no, I don't hate, like, that as, like, intrinsically. I hate how, like, watching the numbers go up can be a substitute for creating, like, an actual powerful experience. Because, like, all it does, like, I mean, outside of using a, you know, more complicated calculator for the dev, is just, like, make the numbers higher so, like, you feel like you're doing more. But, like, that doesn't necessarily play out to, like, what's happening on screen. Like, you know, like, the hits don't actually look like they're hitting harder, and you don't necessarily feel more powerful unless you, like, believe the hype of the numbers. And I feel like there are better ways of conveying power in these kinds of interactive experiences beyond those numbers.
D&D problems.
Yeah.
I know that I have talked about this experience before when I've talked about trying to, like, convey what power feels like in a video game.
Mm-hmm.
For me, there was, like, very little that made me feel more powerful than in Skyrim when I would, like, summon 2 Daedric warlords and they would kill everyone in the room for me, and I was already just wandering the room collecting loot. Like, the fight is still going on, and I just outsourced it.
Yeah. So, like, man, power is important to me in video games, but, like, I disagree about what power means in practice. But, you know, it's still very important to me. It's important to me that I'm, like, willing to fight about it. Interesting backstories and personalities are very important. Acquiring powerful weapons and artifacts is an undersold thing in video games. Like, if you want to give me cool shit, please give me the cool shit. I'm going to have a lot to yell about in, like, our anime episode when I get to talk about Log Horizon. Because it definitely handles, like, these kinds of ideas around things like flavor text that make really, like, strange and interesting effects. Or, like, when they talk about, like, no, like, Tegan, you've seen season 2, so, like, you're familiar with, like, the teachings, right? And how, like, some of them, when they talk about them, it's like, yeah, they're stupid. Like, they're not really that crazy, but they're, like, really, like, super secret effects that only certain people have. But then, like, once you have them, it's like, that's kind of dumb. But, like, the implications of them in, like, the wider world is actually incredible. Those are the things that are, like, really important to me. But, like, I hate, like, those kinds of ideas being, like, simplified to numbers Like, I really want people to, like, wrestle with, like, the idea of, like, what can be powerful in this space, and then show it to me and make me want it, I guess. I don't care about beating the game at the highest difficulty level. I guess it's fine, but it's not, like, important. Okay, I'm in the enjoyment section, so I made it to 50%. Are you guys there?
I'm done. I'm waiting for you guys to fucking hurry up.
Oh, okay, fine. Sorry, Brian.
Ryan!
No worries. No worries.
You didn't want to do it as a friend.
No.
You just did it.
Your friend did it. He finds these results fascinating. He's waiting for an opportunity to discuss them.
Well, you can talk about them. Okay. Oh, because you want to move to your results. Okay.
Yeah, he wants
results.
to move on.
I'm talking about enjoyment.
Right.
God, I enjoy all these things about video games, like helping people, fast-paced, long-term planning, careful decision-making. Bro, give me the shit.
Constant action?
Constant
I
action?
guess.
Mixed
Yeah.
bag.
Being immersed. Oh, fuck yeah.
I do like twitchy
Competing.
games. I've, like, realized over time. I'm trying
I
to think.
work in a fast-paced and intense environment. I don't always want to do that in a video game, my dude.
For sure. What about blowing things up?
Blowing things up is fun.
For sure.
I like the big numbers when I'm blowing things up, though. If I'm blowing things up, I want big numbers.
So I really like the idea of working towards a common goal with other players.
Mm-hmm.
And I like it when it's like macro. Like I've talked about things like the Ishgard restoration in Final Fantasy XIV, where you're working with players in like a large like crafting style raid, or even like stuff in like Death Stranding where you're trying to like rebuild highways, and that's like an entirely like player developed like idea. Or even fucking Metal Gear Solid 5's like disable all the nukes. Cause there's definitely people that were just like reaching out to people on like Reddit. Like, it's like, hey, if you play this game, we'd like to disarm your nukes. Like, we'd like to help you do that because we're trying to get everyone who owns the game to disarm their nukes. And like, that's a weird metagaming experience that I find deep and interesting.
Okay, so this was asked to me, hey, do you like big explosions? Yes. Do you like blowing things up? Yes. Do you like guns? No, don't like guns. Do you like being an agent of chaos and destruction? Yes! Yes, I do. Do I like guns, though? No. Do I like gore? No. How often do I do the following things? Put a considerable time into customizing my characters, cities, or spaceships. I don't know.
I don't know if I enjoy being primarily focused on my increasing stats or level. Like, I feel like it's a different experience that I don't particularly care for.
Study other players to improve my own gameplay.
Brian,
sometimes.
I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this question, but there's a question here that says try out many different things to test out what the game lets me do.
Oh, yeah.
I'm assuming you put always on that one.
Oh, yeah. Shit, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't do that. I do put a lot of thought and effort into my character creation process. I'll come up with, like, a 4-paragraph backstory that has a lot of space to, like, improve upon, you know?
Yeah. I actually really like this question here, where it's like, study other players to improve my own gameplay, because I do like doing that. I do think I'm pretty good at things, and, like, I do like my own, like, play style or whatever, but sometimes I'll just, like, look at other people and see what they're doing, and, like, that is just, like, an endlessly fascinating thing. I'm like, wait, hold on, you can do that? Like, yo, that's fucking crazy. How did you do that? And, like, video games, man. Ooh, want to help game companies make new games? Brian, did you give them your email address?
I did not.
Okay. I think I'm going to put the Impossible Coin one. I'll deal with it later.
I mean, I don't see why we as a group couldn't do it, but...
Yeah.
We as a group would probably have better suggestions than any one of us individually, so...
I definitely 100% believe that. Ooh, Brian, what's your quantic... Wait, Tegan, are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Brian, what's your quantic gamer type?
I'm a bard.
You're a bard!
There's two things, Brian. Or are you just, like, straight up bard? That's all it says.
It says, your quantic gamer type, bard.
Oh, okay.
He's just a straight bard. Ooh.
Damn, pure bard. Okay.
Yeah.
Teagues, what'd you get?
What'd you get? No, what'd you get?
Fine. I got bard skirmisher.
Oh. Huh.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
What'd you get, Teagues?
Slayer Gladiator.
Honestly, Tegan, I've been waiting. This is the moment. I've been waiting because I know this is you. I know you're a Slayer Gladiator. Like, it's just, here's the thing. Here's the important part, Tegan. You don't like hanging out with Slayer Gladiators. But I know you're one of them. I truly believe that.
I don't know what this means, though. Like, I'm reading the thing, but I don't.
Yeah, so
I don't like it.
So yeah, I am a dominant type bard, but I lean towards skirmisher. So bards, for people who haven't taken the survey, are team players who want to chat and interact with other players in game worlds that are rich with lore, stories, discovery, and customization. For them, the game is a grand story that emerges from a community of players. And a skirmisher is a player who wants fast-paced team arenas that are accessible and easy to jump into. They are highly spontaneous gamers who dislike games that require planning and thinking. And maybe that's a little true.
I thought that the motivation profile itself was like more interesting than the gamer type.
Talk to me, Brian.
It says that my gameplay style is aggressive, analytical, relaxed, independent, immersed, and creative.
Yeah, that makes sense. That sounds like you.
Yeah, and I was like, more than just showing me a picture of a fucking tankard, like, this feels like the money. The motivation on the various, like, accesses of engagement, it looks like I'm primarily engaged by creativity, and I'm like, that checks out. And I think about, like, the things I like to do in games.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that, like, if you've listened to this fucking podcast long enough, you could probably have a drinking game of how many times does Brian say Hitman is a puzzle game. You know, like, I love the fact that, you know, Hitman is a weird game where you can try and find dumb solutions to things. Like, what if I make the guard go over here by putting a gun there? And then when he's walking back from putting away the gun, I put a different gun in a different location. And then I shoot him with a dart that, like, makes him have to go puke. And then he goes in that room, and I've already got an explosive there. Like, I love the weird Rube Goldberg bullshit, and that speaks to that. My favorite part of Hearthstone is deck building and, like, figuring out, like, strange meme decks. Like, saying that I'm also, like, engaged by immersion is definitely also, like, a thing. Like, I love character building. I love world building. I feel like aggressive, analytical, relaxed. It's like, yeah, I don't want a game to fucking stress me out, man. Like, I live in this world. I don't need a game to do it. You know?
I get that.
Yeah.
I'm actually really interested in these, like, secondary motivations. Because, like, I'm also pointed towards creativity, but also social as, like, a motivation. But when I look at the secondaries, creativity split significantly more towards design rather than discovery. And while, like, in the social end, like, competition and community seem pretty even. But even, like, in places like action and mastery, I seem to be more interested in strategy rather than challenge in terms of mastery and excitement versus destruction in action.
Yeah, the secondary motivations I also found interesting.
Man, what the heck?
What's up, Teeks?
I don't know if I agree with mine.
Okay.
And that makes me mad.
Talk to us.
Because maybe this is just, like, Tegan doesn't actually know what kind of gamer she is, and that feels dumb.
Okay.
I'm just pouting.
Well, I think that's a fair criticism of the thing, because, like, I had questions about, like, some of the language they were choosing.
It's not that. It's that I'm looking at this, and, like, the secondary breakdown thing is, like, yes, accurate. And, like, the more I read over the top, the more I'm like, yeah, I do just not like playing with other people and also like being the fucking best. And you can't be the best when you're playing with other people. Damn it.
Well, I mean, maybe you can, but, like, you know, it's just a lot more work.
No, I can't. Can't. Everybody's always going to invest more time than Tegan is.
Okay, so guys, I also want the images of your profile so I can share them on our Instagram this week. So if you could get me those, that would be fantastic.
I use my snipping tool.
Oh, if you click on the download image of your profile, it'll actually take you to, like, a JPEG of, like, your primary motivations.
I was just going to snip it.
I do want to look at the recommendations because I want to see if I get to laugh at them.
Look at that bullshit. Fucking goddamn slayers want to be heroic protagonists in a cinematic story.
Oh, of course. That sounds like
They're
Tegan.
solo players who enjoy highly curated narratives and slower paced gameplay. Fuck me, yes. God damn it, alright. Gladiators are competitive gamers who are more likely to identify as hardcore, and they want games to engage them using a broad spectrum of features. Fuck me. Alright.
Okay, so
how much of this is me and how much of this is like Alex's gameplay style rubbing off on me? Because I'm like, I feel like this doesn't entirely make sense, but also here I am like trying to figure out the fastest way to get married and the new Story of Seasons game as soon as it comes out. So
yeah, these recommendations are pretty whack. So like, I don't vibe with them. Like they want me to play like Siege. Siege is fine. But, like, Mountain Blade, and, like, I already played Teamfight Tactics, and, like, Smite, and, like, I don't know. I feel like...
Where are the games?
Oh, wait, a suggested game section?
Yeah, so, like, next to, like, the primary, secondary motivations, there's a button that you can click that says video game recommendations.
Oh. You're right. Let me see what I get. Mass Effect Andromeda.
Wait.
Dragon Age Origins. Fuck, these are games I play.
Yeah, right.
Mass Effect Andromeda, Final Fantasy Online, Mass Effect 3, Dragon Age Origins, Final Fantasy 14, the series, Mass Effect 2, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, the series, Ace Attorney.
Oh, you should play Ace Attorney. Honestly, everyone should play Ace Attorney, but that's a whole other thing.
Alright, game distance method. What's that? Let me see. Astral Chain!
Oh, yeah.
Yakuza Like a Dragon!
Yeah!
Wind Waker! Moonlighter! These are all games I play!
Looks like you're good at picking your games, Teeks.
Fuck me. Damn it. Alright, I'm just, I guess, attacked. Fine.
Tegan is under siege.
Tegan's been, like, virtually assaulted. He wants me to play Idol Master! I can't play Idol Master! I will die! I will just enjoy Idol Master from afar.
Oh, okay, there we go. If I choose game distance method, yeah, this tells me all the games I've actually played. Fun fact, Dondera is on this list, and, like, I definitely bounced off that game 2 years ago.
Yes.
It wants me to play Persona.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And Fire Emblem Three Houses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it also suggested Final Fantasy XIV, Monster Hunter Rise and Generations, Hollow Knight, Phantasy Star Online, which has been me but put into Mario and Luigi Partners in Time, which of course I already fucking played, you dipshits. And
okay, guys, y'all.
Y'all.
Okay, I just pulled up my fucking recommendations.
Uh-huh.
Jesus fucking Christ, I'm so witnessed.
Jesus, I love that we've all been seen. I was like, I don't know if this thing knows me, and then it's like,
got him.
It turned on the headlights.
Y'all want my number one recommendation?
Is it
top of this fucking list with a bullet?
Is it Sasquatch?
L.A. Noire.
Oh God,
that's good. So the Quantic Foundry gamer motivation profile is legit. Turns out,
yeah,
looks like it fucking works.
L.A. Noire, Gone Home, Braid.
Jesus. Wow. We've all been attacked.
Oh, God. I'm putting
this is amazing. If you want to be seen.
Yeah. If you want to know what you are gaming about, like you want to act like that you confront on like this quiz, I dare you. I double dog dare you to try to front on this quiz.
What are the other gamer types?
Oh, I do want to see
Why am I the only gladiator in this group? Why am I not a bard? Hey.
Oh, it's because you don't want to talk to people, Tegan.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't like people.
You're not into semen testing.
Okay, hang on. I want to know, I wonder if there is a correlation between girls who game and the number of girls who are gladiators.
I'm interested in that, because there are a lot of secret girl gladiators out there, and I believe all the way about it.
I think it's because girls don't want to interact with dude bros online. I don't want to interact with people online because I don't want to have people shit on me for being a girl.
Yeah.
Being a girl online has only worked in my favor exactly once, and it was when I was playing World of Warcraft. That was it. I got all the best gear. I got drugged through every dungeon. I didn't have to do shit. I just healed. I was a healer. And, like, there weren't a ton of healing spec healers, but, you know. So that worked out, but mad.
So
uncomfortable.
That's the gamer motivation
Thanks
profile.
For that. Jesus.
Tegan, I believe there's something related to I Love Hugh you want to talk about?
Actually, I'm going to talk about the second time I've been attacked this week instead.
Okay, let's do it.
Brian and Rocky helped me look for a new keyboard
Mhm.
because my keyboard doesn't have a very important feature called a backspace button. It has a delete key. It does not have a backspace button. This is a source of frustration and has been for 3 months, 4 months now, something like that. You know,
Jesus Christ.
So I'm buying myself a new desk since we've been working from home for a calendar year, and my desk that I've been working at is small. So now it's time to upgrade that, and I'm also getting a new keyboard. And I have complained online in the past couple of weeks about how the only Game Gear stuff that they offer for girls is pink. Everything's pink. Everything's fucking pale pink.
How do you gender a keyboard?
Brian, you gotta remember, boy keyboards are black,
Yeah.
girl keyboards are pink.
Boy keyboards are black and they have red or like lime green backlit, and girl keyboards are pink. And maybe they light up white, but they're pink. But anyway, so Big Gaming has decided to try and get me to have an all pink setup. And here's how they did it. First of all, they showed me a pink L-shaped desk that I didn't want to like, but I have been thinking about nonstop for fucking 5 weeks.
Jesus, 5 weeks, Tegan?
It's so cute. Since I sent it to you, I've just been like, wow, I'm so mad. It wants to pink. And then I'm like, oh, but it is kind of cute.
Oh,
and it
no.
is exactly the right size that I want.
God damn it.
And it's got a really nice cable management system on the back where it's got like the little cups that they go into. And then it's got spots for your wires to go along the outside of the desk. So even if you're like swinging your legs, you're not going to kick your stuff over. Great. Love that.
Okay, hold on. Brian, you know that thing that they do in like mid-2000s rom-coms where like they introduce like a seemingly attractive male love interest, but he turns out to be a dick, but like he slowly like grows on like the female lead over the course of the film?
Yes.
They're doing that to Tegan, but with a fucking computer desk.
Yeah, they did that to me with a fucking computer desk. So I bought the desk. Okay?
Yeah.
I bought the desk.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you what happened. So, I ordered the desk. PayPal takes my money. Sends it to this company. The company says, we've received your order. A couple hours later, they send me an email and says, we have changed your order status to shipped. And I'm like, nice. Okay. Time to order that keyboard now. Because if I order it now, the desk and the keyboard will arrive at the same time. And I go to order the keyboard we picked out. The nice teal blue one with the koi fish on it.
Right. Ah, shit. That one was a good keyboard.
So I go to the website and I go to Akko, which has all the has the keyboard we were looking at, the Monet keyboard, if anyone's wondering.
Mm-hmm.
And they're doing a collaboration with Sailor Moon. Look at that keyboard. Look how cute it is. Look at how cute. I pasted a picture in the thing. Oh, it's so cute. It's so cute.
That is certainly
Look
a
how
pink
cute
keyboard.
that is. Attacked, right? Limited edition, anime collaboration, magical girl. 3 strikes, I'm out. I buy the keyboard.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we got her.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we got her. We're gonna have an all pink setup now at this point. Fine. I also ordered the Monet keyboard because I'm gonna have one for work and one for home. It'll be fine. Anyway, I was like, Alex, is it gay if I buy 2 keyboards? And he was like, absolutely not. Buy 2 keyboards. Treat yourself. And I was like, nice. Okay.
I think that's a joke, Brian.
Yeah, it's a joke. Fellas, is it gay to buy 2 keyboards? After I get the confirmation that my purchase has been made for this pink gamer keyboard to go with my pink gamer desk, I get a notification from FedEx that says, FedEx has been notified to void the shipment of my desk.
What?
The desk is still showing as having been shipped on the manufacturer website that I ordered the desk from. But FedEx, when I type in the tracking number, it says, FedEx has been notified to void the shipment. Shipment canceled by sender.
Mm-hmm.
The website that I ordered the desk from still says that the desk is being shipped. So I emailed customer service. I was like, hey, the fuck? And then, nothing. They don't open. Customer service doesn't open until Monday, 8 a.m. Central. I'm so mad.
I think that's a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
It is! But like, ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Mm-hmm.
JK. I'm so mad. I want desk. I want desk. Desk doesn't have to be pink, but I became set that I was going to get pink desk, and now I not get pink desk. Maybe. Or maybe I do get pink desk. Or maybe I don't get pink desk. And I have to buy a new desk. I have to order and shop for a new desk. After ordering and shopping for that desk. I'm so upset.
I mean, that is bullshit.
And my other office friends, they have also bought desks.
Mm-hmm.
And none of their desks are what I want. They're all, like, cutesy, like, homey, glass top. They got that little hutch for the plants, And I wanted something that I was definitely going to be able to use for my computer table when we inevitably have to go back into the office. And now I got to reshop for something that can fit my 32-inch TV on it.
Jeez, 32-inch TV?
Ugh. Yeah. 32-inch TV, that's what I use as a computer monitor.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
But yeah. Fun. So that's the first thing I'm mad about this week. Second thing I'm mad about this week is Nioh. Fuck Nioh.
Okay, is this like the Dark Souls like that I'm trying to...
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like pre-Ghost of Tsushima.
Right.
Ghost of Tsushima.
Mm-hmm.
It is fast Dark Souls. It's Dark Souls, but fast.
Right.
And except for being Dark Souls, but fast, the menu layout looks like Dark Souls, but also gives you no vital information.
Fast Souls?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Brian. All of the armor we have, right, have special skills on them. And you'd think you equip the armor and you get access to those skills.
Sure.
We got no access to the skills.
Okay.
Why do we not have access to the skills? It turns out our skill level is too low. How do you raise the skill level? Any idea? What is skill? What is it? It turns out it's an attribute, like strength or anything else. And you have to put points into it or you can't use the skills on the items.
I mean...
Do they tell you that anywhere? No. Well, in this menu anyway, you can hover over like stuff. It'll be like, oh, strength is used to do this. Blah, 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 blah. It says skill is used to use the skills. Cool! What does that mean?
Jesus.
We've respect twice.
Okay.
The first time because we were trying to raise our health, and we were putting points into the part, constitution sort of thing that, like, normally would raise your health. That's not how. No.
Okay.
It goes in heart.
In heart?
Heart is, the heart part is where you're, no. Yeah.
Okay.
That's how you raise your health. But also... it doesn't just raise your health, sometimes it also raises your stamina, but not always. We've respec twice at this point, and every time we respec, turns out, surprise, it costs more money to respec.
Yeah.
But everything kills us in, like, 2 hits. Our, like, max health right now is, like, 2,000, and stuff is doing, like, $17,000 damage.
Oh, jeez.
$17,000 damage. $17,000 hit damage. Fuck. Anyway,
yeah,
17k damage. And we got 2k hit points. And we can't use any skills on any of our armor because we don't have enough points in skill. I hate this. A tutorial for how your menu works would have been nice. An insert into the flap of the game. Something like on the back of the cover art. Something would have been so helpful on this. And this is the boost, the Nioh 2 bundle.
Okay, is it spelled the same way twice, or is it like Nioh as in new on one of them?
No, it's Nioh and then same way with 2 afterwards.
Okay, so like the sequel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like the sequel. And I don't know how we're gonna get through both of these. It's so frustrating. It's so... okay, so body is what increases your health. Stamina also increases your health, but not as much.
Alright.
Why? I hate this. I hate this so much.
See,
it's so frustrating. It does not look fun.
Like, fighting with skill allocation does sound like a pain in the ass. Like, Jesus Christ.
I'm watching Alex play it, and it's like, he goes onto the mission, he dies immediately. He comes back into the mission, gets his, like, equivalent of souls back, dies immediately after getting them back. constantly for hours. It's like watching someone walk into a meat grinder on purpose. It's so, like, with Dark Souls, at least there's a little, like, I'm gonna dodge roll, I'm gonna get one good hit in you, and now, I got fucked up by something else. Like, at least there's a little bit of that.
Right.
But, like, there is none of that in this game. And whenever he gets through something, I'm like, oh, wow, you did a thing. That's fucking impressive. We fought a spider lady who was, like, a boss, and she was easier than any of the minions that were outside of her boss room. It felt like 50 minutes to get to the boss room, and then the boss fight itself was like 6 minutes, maybe.
Alright, jeez.
It was so dumb.
Turns out that Nioh was the friends we made along the way?
Yeah, basically, like, I don't know, the little, like, there are these little shrines, and they have, like, little Kappa fairies in them.
Mm-hmm.
They'll, like, bless you, they'll, like, heal you and stuff. They're essentially, like, your bonfires. And they're cute. And everything else is terrifying. Game's a lot. I don't know if it's fun. It doesn't look fun. Nioh doesn't look fun. Like, Dark Souls has a rhythm to it. Nioh's like panicked thrashing. It's like the one child in your music class who didn't practice their hot cross buns recording is just blowing as hard as they can, you know? Like, hoping to hit one note.
Jeez. So, like, I haven't played Nioh. I've heard some things, and, like, I've heard it's good. I'm not sure if I've heard explicitly that it's fun, but I think the people that I know that have played it enjoyed it.
Well, that's good. I'm glad they enjoyed it. I don't know that we're enjoying it.
For sure.
I don't know that we hate it.
Right.
I just don't know if we're enjoying it.
Yeah.
But there are good things. There are also good things. I did good things this week. I played Genshin this week, and Genshin's been fun. The Windblume Festival started. Today is Noelle's birthday. Recording day.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Just like last time was Jean's birthday.
I have Noelle.
You gotta do it. You gotta get her little birthday pancakes.
Yeah.
You turned into Willard Scott of Genshin.
The what?
You gotta explain your reference, dude.
Okay.
Who is Willard Scott? Is he on a TV or a movie, perhaps? Because I do not watch either of those.
Rocky, are you old enough to know what I'm talking about?
I am aware of Willard Scott.
Okay.
Brian, I'm old. I just don't know things.
No, Tegan, you're not old.
I'm older than Rocky.
Tegan is older than me, yes.
Okay. All right. So, Willard Scott, not dead yet.
You're right.
But once upon a time was a weatherman on national television.
Oh.
For the Today Show. He would do, like, national weather, and then he would famously say, and now let's take a look at what's happening in your neck of the woods, which where they would cut to your local weatherman telling you your local weather.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
He was also the original Ronald McDonald.
Yes, he was the first person to be the Ronald McDonald. Who, okay, Rocky tempted me with a fucking fast food spiral there.
Stay focused, Brian.
I know. So Willard Scott had this whole thing he would do before he would tell us the weather, where, as sponsored by Smucker's Jelly, he would wish some ancient people birthdays. He'd be like, he'd be like, here's Mabel Lee Sourpuss. She's 105 years old, and she wakes up every morning and has a piece of asparagus and 3 cigarettes. Happy birthday, Mabel Lee Sourpuss.
I mean, those are a couple of sentences, Brian.
Yes.
Wow. All right.
Right. And so, like, you could always count on Willard Scott to, like, wish the birthdays, and he would, like, throw up the picture of the ancient person who's like, I'm old! And he'd be like, happy birthday, old person. And they'd be like, I'm old, my life is a prison. And he'd be like, happy birthday. Happy birthday. And I'm just out here listening to Tegan be like, happy birthday to a digital fake person. And they're like, my life is a construct. And Tegan's like, happy birthday.
Happy birthday to my current favorite PNG. My favorite JPEG that I do get to keep after I purchase.
Oh, God, yeah. Brian, like, Tegan and I had a conversation where I had to be the person to break it to her that people don't actually own the PNGs that are attached to NFTs.
That's so dumb. Like, at least when I spend money on my gacha game, I keep the PNG. Like, damn. That's mine. That's my digital photo.
the spiral that we are in collectively as a society with NFTs makes me want to resign for planet Earth.
Oh, God.
I think it was the Charmin NFT that finally broke me. Just like,
I mean, Charmin's been run by goons for a few years now, for being honest.
it was just, they know enough to know that like people are going to scream at them for doing it. So they're like, hey, we're going to give all the money to charity. And I'm like, fuck off. Like,
Straight up
fuck off.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
You're like, but also you just shouldn't do it in the first place.
Right, exactly.
But what if you just didn't do it? Like, I get someone with way more money than the poor person who had to post that on Twitter decided that they should do it.
It's like,
and no one wants to lose their job in the middle of a panorama because they said no.
It's just a fucking 14-year-old, not 14, like 18-year-old kid, like running the Charmin Twitter's like, guys, like, these are actually really bad for the environment. Should we really do that? I mean, we're a toilet paper company.
Let's be real, Rocky. It's not an 18-year-old. It's a haunted 34-year-old with a master's degree who's getting paid $45,000 a year. Their eyes look like these sunken holes where you could drop 8 balls in. And they're just like, I'm so sad. And they go to work, and they're just like, Charmin NFT day! And it's just like, fuck us all.
That NFT went around different departments. It went to corporate, it went to HR, it went to legal before it was finally approved to say, yes, today is NFT day.
Oh, fuck.
So, like,
NFTP day. Ah!
The 34-year-old that's involved there, they're definitely real. They're the person that wrote the tweet, obviously against their will, but the person that actually had to, like, you know, take the copy for the tweet and then press the button says, now what's on the Twitter, that's some 18-year-old intern somewhere.
Oh my God. Like, the number of people who are haunted and drink themselves to sleep on that, God, that process. Just, fuck. Yeah, I need a beer, I wasn't even there. Like,
right? Pour one out for our social media analyst.
Oh God, just, I don't know which hit harder, the Charmin one or the Pringles one, because like they both made me want to die.
Oh yeah, fuck. Pringles did that special gold can with no fucking flavor in it.
Yeah, fucking dipshits.
God damn it.
Fuck.
The point of the Pringle is the crispy crunch.
Oh God.
You can't crispy crunch an NFT.
Rocky, that made me think back to the discussion of the Peking duck Pringles that we had on this program.
Yeah.
Where you were like, Brian, if you could get your hands on some more Peking duck Pringles without having to worry about them getting shattered and shipping, would you buy them again? And at the time, my answer was yes. And now my answer is an emphatic no.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, I'm like, if they have thrown in with Mordor, the tube chips are evil.
Yeah. Yeah.
Duckett Sequoia is on site.
Fuck. God damn it, fucking Duckett.
I literally spent my entire stimmy on those fucking turrets, Brian. You better get them on your house.
Yeah. Oh, God. Fuck. Where were we? What is happening? Oh, it's Willard Scott's birthday.
No, Noelle's birthday.
Yes, Noelle's birthday.
She's the maid of the Knights of Favonius.
Once again, Brian, you're going to like Noelle whenever you do your beginner.
You're going to like Noelle. She's very sweet, and she works very hard, and she's underappreciated. But anyway, it's her birthday today, and the Windblume Festival's going on, and so, like, this is the introduction of, like, the Hangout event, so if you have 2 story keys from doing your dailies, you can unlock a Hangout event with a character. Once the Hangout event is unlocked, it never goes away. You can do it as many times as you want to get all the endings, that sort of thing. I haven't done any of them yet. That's okay, though. I'm busy trying to clear out the Windblume shop.
I need to make a point of doing some more Genshin this week.
Yeah! I'm working on, like, the lyre playing game is fun. I'm very bad at rhythm games, and so I appreciate that it's slow, because I'm bad at them. I'm sure the other songs are going to be, like, faster paced, because it's just the other Genshin songs, so fair. I've done the Peculiar Dungeon a bunch of times, and I've been working to clear out the shop associated with that. I'm alright at the archery part, considering I only have Amber, and she only shoots 1 arrow at a time. You know how it is. But so far it's been pretty neat. I'm a little disappointed that there aren't quite as many, like, associated quests to do as there were with the Lantern Rite. But also, like, the Windblume Festival is sort of like a Valentine's Day thing for Mondstadt, as opposed to, like, us, like, New Year's sort of celebration, so...
Damn.
I can see it, but, like, I don't know. Nobody can agree what a Windblume is, either. Apparently, you have to pick out, like, what the Windblume flower will be from, like, the different flowers that grow around Mondstadt.
Damn, it's just not like Windwheel Asters? Like, come on.
Yeah, so, like, I also thought it was going to be Windwheel Asters, but apparently, according to Flora, they're supposed to be dandelions. And according to the girl who's always hitting on the grocery clerk in the front of Mondstadt, according to her, they're the Celia lilies, which are what you use to ascend Venti, which also makes sense.
Yeah.
So, like, is it the ones that look like the windmills? Is it the thing that all of the, like, Grand Master of the Knights of Favonius is named after? Is it, Then they all, like, have a big laugh, and they're like, that's just like us in Mondstadt. No one can agree on anything. And also, there's a bunch of dudes, like, fucking in the library. It's so fucking dumb.
And that one girl is just really trying to learn how to talk to hilichurls for some reason.
She really is. I would love a hilichurl dictionary if, like, that came out, and you could kind of learn hilichurlian.
Yeah.
Hilichurlian?
Hilichurlian?
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Yeah.
That'd be neat. I kind of feel bad killing the hilichurls, knowing that, like, there's definitely a way to communicate with them. And here I am, showing up, just, like, launching myself right in the middle of their camp and slaughtering everybody.
Jeez. Yeah.
Oops. Cool. That's cool. But yeah. And other than that, I have to issue an apology. I'm not playing I Love Hugh. I'm playing I Love Hugh 2, which requires no microtransactions. My bad.
So, Tegan, you did repeatedly ask if we were talking about different games, and it turns out that was true. We just did not realize at the time.
Yeah. But it's still like, I am the one who was like, no, I'm playing this game, but I wasn't playing that game. Like, that is my bad. I was playing a different game.
Yeah.
We figured it out, but, like, whoops.
We did have to CSI that shit.
Yeah, we did have to CSI it a bit. Sorry. But at least we're all having fun, right?
Yeah, I Love You is great. I love the emphatic compliments that I get whenever I clear a level.
You get compliments?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, like where it's like, I am like a sunbeam. I finished the level faster than anybody else or whatever.
Yeah,
with fewer moves. Yeah.
It reminds me of the compliments that, like, Anne got in, like, Parks and Rec. It's just like, you effervescent, like, tree fish or something.
What?
Yeah, like, there's a...
Hey, what?
In Parks and Rec, it's incoherent at the moment. Like, just give me a second. I'm just gonna look up a couple.
This sounds amazing, though.
Yeah, they're great. Because they're all weird, but they're actually fantastic. And you beautiful tropical fish. You're smart as a whip and you're cool under pressure.
Oh, that is nice. Yeah, hey, I like that.
Oh, and you beautiful rule-breaking moth. And you beautiful spinster, I will find you love. Like, stuff like that.
That one's a little mean.
Yeah, it's a little mean. Yeah.
Still good, but...
Oh, like, and you poetic noble land mermaid. It's just like, what?
What?
And you cunning, pliable, chestnut-haired sunfish. Like, there's a lot of those.
Those are great.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, okay, you're right. And if you do, like, the daily divination at the beginning of the day, it's like a mini tarot reading. So in your phone.
I think that's new. I think that's only in I Love You too, because I haven't seen that.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. So I get, like, daily challenges, and if I let the thing, like, go, if I don't, like, button mash through it, essentially, what it does is it gives me, like, a mini free tarot reading for, like, how my overall day is going to go, and then it invites me to complete certain challenges. Complete a puzzle that you did in the past, but use fewer moves, and it only does ones that you didn't hit the fewest number of moves on.
Okay.
And then challenge yourself, complete a puzzle you did in the past, but faster than you did it last time. And it'll have a timer that counts down, and then challenge yourself, do a puzzle that is coming up in the future that you have not seen before.
All of those sound great, actually.
It is a good time. I don't recommend doing it during meetings, though. Especially when you may need to listen to what is going on in the meeting.
Damn.
Oops.
I'm not sure if I want to wait to finish 900 levels of I Love Hugh to try I Love Hugh 2 now.
I mean, I don't think you have to.
No, I don't.
I don't think there's anything in the rules that says you have to.
No, right, but like it's more about like just moving through one game into like the other, especially since one's like essentially a sequel. I'm not sure. I'll think about it.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
I understand. But yeah, it's fun. I'm having a good time still. I'm doing well. I've completed 254 levels, and there are like 460 that I can see. If I scroll all the way up through the game, it goes up to like 460 hearts that I need to like unlock those levels. I don't know how many levels there are total, but some of them get like really tiny, and the gradient then gets really fine, and they're hard. I've needed hints a couple of times, but not to the point where I'm like, I can't see anything, you know?
Yeah.
So, it's definitely fun.
I do want to fuck with that. So, like, there's a thing that happens in Final Fantasy XIV with things like parses, which, you know, is technically are against terms of service that I would never use in an actual video game. But what tends to happen because of, like, the raid population is so much smaller than, like, the general population for the game. Like, it's, like, 10% that clears, say, like, the first, like, 2 tiers of, like, the fights.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe about 5 get to the end, and, like, 2% do ultimates. When you compare parses, like, on, you know, a website that would collect those types of things, you're able to see that, like, the numbers become really, really competitive. Where, like, say, like, the 50th percentile or, like, the average player that clears raids, in the first fight, something like 1,000 or 2,000 damage between, like, the top players. But, like, that margin becomes, like, so much smaller. Where, like, the difference between you and a top player and, like, the last tier of fights is, like, a lucky button or, like, a really good crit.
Oh, okay.
And I'd be really interested to see if in games like I Love Hugh that have, like, such a wide number of levels, if, like, the average moves become a lot tighter as you progress deeper into the game because, like, there are simply less people who get that far.
Huh. It might. I mean, that would make sense.
Yeah. I guess I'm just worried about, like, the future of my compliment economy. Brian, you have what looks like a mostly Apple Arcade update for us?
It feels less like an Apple Arcade update now and more just like that now that I have a good and comfortable controller that I've just fully integrated the iOS ecosystem into like my gaming routine, which is very nice. There is a game which I started playing this week, which I believe also came out on Switch this week and is coming out on Xbox and PlayStation in a couple weeks, called Cozy Grove.
Ooh, okay.
It came out on Switch and Apple Arcade first. The difference there is that because it's Apple Arcade, like, I just get to download it because I'm an Apple Arcade subscriber. I think it's like $20 on Xbox, PlayStation, and Switch, maybe 15. But the quickest way to describe Cozy Grove is, what if Animal Crossing and Spiritfarer had a baby?
Ooh, I'm interested.
Yeah. So in the game, you are a little cute spirit scout. Think like a Boy Scout or a Girl Scout. But like what spirit scouts do is they help departed souls transition in the afterlife. You, a spirit scout, have rowed out to this tiny island looking for spirits to help, but your canoe washed away. And so now you're like alone on this island, you think. You start to like build your like cute anthropomorphic fire named Flamey, who is fed with like spirit logs. And as you like wander the island, you start to like meet various ghosts that inhabit the island, and they all have their like own involved stories about, you know, like helping them transition in the afterlife and like what they're interested in and why they've stuck around. In the meantime, you're also like building and expanding your campsite, your tent, and you're decorating the island, and you're building out and you're making things look pretty. The look of the game is like very, very visually lush. The prospect of playing something which feels very much like Animal Crossing and doing so with something that is like very, very like beautifully hand animated. It has just this gorgeous look. one of the things that's really, really keen about it is that as you like help the various spirits on the island, fuses the island with color. Yeah, so like kind of just these like splashes of like watercolor hitting the island as you're like helping the various spirits is very, very cool. Also very much like Animal Crossing, the game operates in absolute real time with like real time weather events. You log in at 6 p.m., at 6 p.m., et cetera, et cetera.
Oh, okay.
Characters have schedules. And so like if you really truly wanted to get on Animal Crossing grind, but have something which is more story intensive, it's so cool to have everybody who lives on my island have a story. To like the reward a lot of that like Animal Crossing repetition, you know, like the hitting of trees, the shaking of trees, the fishing in the sea, like the digging of holes. You're doing all of that shit in Cozy Grove. Like you're digging holes, you're shaking trees, you're fishing, you're catching bugs. All of that shit is happening in this game. But a lot of what is driving the game is story. And that like every one of the residents of the island has a story. So there's like satisfying narrative. Another one of the things that the game does is it doesn't add the artificial treadmill. You're not burdened with like this huge loan. There's no raccoon who's like, surprise, oh, give me all your money. Where like you're prioritizing your player behavior based on like paying off this huge loan. The upgrading of your campfire is not tied to like this mechanic of like a loan that needs to be paid back. And the currency that you acquire in the game has functionality which is tied to like the upgrading of your campsite, but there's like multiple ways to like acquire the currency. So I've never been at a point thus far where I've been doing anything that I didn't want to do to get money. That has always been like at least part of the loop for me of like Animal Crossing, where I'm like, hey, there's all these things I want to do, so let me go ahead and do the thing I don't want to do right now so that way I can get back to them. I'm never hitting that part of this as a loop. The music is like very sweet. The characters are all very cute. Like I can't recommend this enough. I'm really, really enjoying it. It's weird, like we're right back in March, you know, there's still a pandemic and now I'm right back to like shaking trees for fruit and building my house. Only now I'm doing it surrounded by cute ghosts.
It is very cute.
Yes.
I'm looking at this. It's very cute.
Actually, this reminds me of a conversation I think we had 2 years ago around Game of the Year. Pre-Game of the Year. I think it was like that December before we started doing them in January. Where, like Brian was talking about Animal Crossing, but like you ran a graveyard. It just seems like that game.
Yeah. I remember that conversation. And that was part of why like I left on this. I read some interviews with the developers where they were talking about the things that they wished that were in Animal Crossing. And they're like, we love Animal Crossing, you know, it's a primary influence on us. But there's some things that we wish were in it. And so we figured, well, why don't we make that game? This very much feels like people who grew up loving Animal Crossing made their own, and it's beautiful, it's cute. This game feels like getting a hug, you know? And I'm not sure if there's a stronger recommendation I can give than that. Like, as soon as it was available for download, like, I actually had the download queued on Apple Arcade, which is one of the things I do enjoy about Apple Arcade, is if there's a game that you're looking forward to, you just like, queue this. And so that way, like, you get like a little push notification that's like, Cozy Grove has now been downloaded. So that I just strapped on my backbone and jumped in. And because this game is showing up, you know, primarily on consoles, you know, with the Switch, PS4, and Xbox releases, obviously the controls for controllers is like great. It's totally mapped out. Like the control scheme isn't like weird or artificial or tacked on. Like you're not sitting there going like, this should be a touch game. Like, no, this definitely feels like a game that was designed for controls. I did just to like experiment. I was like, okay, so like, is it awkward if I'm touch only? Like, it isn't. I just I am historically like a console gamer first, and I very much like handheld gaming, so like I've been playing it with controllers. Like this is a game that both of y'all should play. It's interesting to see like the way they look Animal Crossing mechanically, and I think that with the themes and the storytelling that resonated with y'all from Spiritfarer, processing that through these kind of mechanics seemed to be something that could really click with you.
I'm definitely interested. It looks really cute. Like, it looks exactly up my alley.
I definitely thought so. Oh, I'm sorry. The Switch version doesn't launch until April 8th. So the Switch version launches the same day as the PlayStation and Xbox versions.
Hey, that's my birthday.
There you go. And it's $15, not $20. So there we go. That's also cool. So I've been playing a lot of Cozy Grove. I absolutely cannot get away from my sneaky Sasquatch bullshit. I went ahead and jumped into, because another cool thing about like having done a lot of game time on my phone is that like I can look at now what my screen time is.
Oh no.
Per game.
Oh wait, it divides it by game?
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yes. So I can see that I've been playing Sneaky Sasquatch an average of 2.5 hours a day for the last 7 days. I'm like, wow, that's a lot. It's a lot.
It's a good game.
It's a lot of Sneaky Sasquatch. I started like posting some like screenshots and video clips to Twitter, trying to like convey the charm of the game. One of the things I posted was a clip of me pulling over a speeder as a cop and checking under their hood for unsecured cargo. So like what this requires is on a long road, I set up a speed trap. I pulled into the entrance for the old Sawmill Road, propped up my radar gun, and as cars would come around the bend speeding, chase after them, pull them over, and write them a ticket. I wanted to, I guess, like push, like we were talking about earlier, push at the edges of a game and see what the game will let you do. I wrote someone a ticket in Sneaky Sasquatch that was not a good ticket. I wrote them a ticket for driving without their headlights, but it was the middle of the day. And the person who I wrote the ticket for was like, that's outrageous. That's not what the police should do. And then said, like, I'm going to make a complaint. And they drove away. As soon as I got back in my cruiser, my little blinking envelope on my police computer said, like, report to headquarters immediately. The chief needs to talk with you. So I drove back to town, and the chief was like, you can't write people tickets for something that they didn't do, and you can't be mean to people. I'm busting you back down. And so, like, I, like, lost all of my XP for that level of being a cop. I just, like, wiped it.
Oh.
It has in-game mechanics for being an unethical cop. Like, you are punished in the game for being bad police.
That's neat.
Yeah. And I was like, that's good. So often, the way video game systems are designed is just, like, cops are, like, there's just this, like, powerful enforcement and herding mechanic. And there's not really any attention paid to, like, the ethics behind that as an enforcement mechanic. All the game does is, like, teach the player, be scared of cops. And if you are able to be a cop, it's like, and now you are scary. That's usually all games do with cops in, like, an open world space. And so to have this, like, little silly game about being a fucking Sasquatch push back on that was, like, a surprise. I was legitimately shocked when something happened when I, like, acted unethically as a cop. And I was like, you know what? Let me try one other thing. I went back, I pulled somebody over, and I opened their hood. There was indeed, like, unsecured food under the hood, which is one of the tickets I can write. And I took the food from under their hood because I'm a sneaky Sasquatch, and then I tried to write them the ticket. And the person said, you're going to steal all my groceries and then try and write me a ticket for having groceries. And they just drove off, right? I got back in my car, and my envelope was blinking in the car. I went to see the chief. He busted me down 2 levels and said, you can't steal from people. It's wrong. The police shouldn't be hurting the people. And I was like, oh, fuck. This game will actively prohibit me from being a bad cop. Like, so the way the game tags speeding is how fast are you going when you cross the threshold of the radar gun, and you can set the radar gun up as a stationary object. And, like, the police car is, like, the second fastest car in the game. I'm like, so what happens if I get behind someone in my police cruiser and I push them so that way they're exceeding the speed limit when they go through the radar gun, and the game now recognizes that they were a speeder. And so I'm like, let me try that. And so I got behind somebody and I pushed them over the threshold to make them go too fast, walked up to the window, and was like, I want to write you a speeding ticket. And they're like, you made me speed. They reported me, and I got busted down to the lowest level of cop possible. I had to, like, redo all of my progress.
Oh, wow.
That was satisfying.
Sneaky Sasquatch cares about the cops in your community.
Yeah.
That's really neat.
Mm-hmm.
Because the thing is that, like, I don't even think that, like, most people will encounter that, you know? Like, but, like, I love when games, like, design edge cases, and this is a case of, like, an edge case being reflective of their ethics, and that's great. That's fucking cool. Very, very satisfying. So, like, I saved the park, I found all the pieces of the treasure map, and I stopped Mr. Pemberton from buying the park, and then got the job at our corporation to stop Mr. Pemberton's, like, second plan to destroy the park. That eventually resulted in me finding evidence of, like, our corporation's, like, illegal misdeeds, which got Mr. Pemberton, like, jailed by the police, which is great. Now that I'm a cop, I can go in there, like, the police station, and I see evil, like, CEO Mr. Pemberton, like, in jail. I'm like, haha, fuck off. Like, he's in there. It's like, you did all your criminal misdeeds. I got a better apartment in the game. I got the 2-bedroom. So I've got a nice place in town. And I can use the ATM for, like, currency conversion to, like, convert the currency which you, like, gather in the park to, like, banknotes that you can use for, like, bank purchases and back and forth. So that's been helpful. I've fully tricked out most of the cars that I own. I did paint my golf cart pink and fully trick out my golf cart. So I have, like, a super fast pink golf cart, which I think is hilarious. I have not yet painted my police cruiser, although I feel like hot pink police cruiser, here we come. I just started riding the ferry to the island, and I've just started, like, engaging with, like, the giant mountain of stuff that you can do on the island. There's, like, saltwater fishing, so there's entirely different fish to catch out on the island. Plus, there's, like, boat racing and surfing, and I just got into scuba diving, and the scuba diving has been helpful as part of, like, the next major quest line, which is, like, saving the lake. There's, like, some evil ne'er-do-wells who are trying to, like, destroy the lake. And I needed to find evidence of what they were doing, which is helpful because of, I already had, like, the camera from the camera club, and I took some pictures of the pollution. And so now, like, these ne'er-do-wells are in the sewers, like, dumping this, like, sludge. Other stuff that's going on is, like, the newspaper plotline has, like, fully evolved into, like, this hilarious, like, bring me pictures of Spider-Man bullshit, where, like, the newspaper editor is like, bring me pictures of a Sasquatch. And so, like, I set up my camera with a tripod and a timer, and I just, like, run through the frame and take a picture of myself. Like, these are great pictures of Sasquatch. Like, when I walk in, just, like, wearing a fucking hat, and he's like, you're not a Sasquatch.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm like, this is entirely, obviously, a Spider-Man joke about how, like, J. Jonah Jameson's like, bring me pictures of Spider-Man! And I'm like, no problem, boss. I can get you a Spider-Man picture. And so, like, the next day in-game, I go pick up the newspaper, and, like, whatever picture I took is, like, rendered on the front page. That's been a lot of fun. So there's, like, the newspaper plot line, the island. I'm really just, like, I think scratching the surface with the stuff at Town Hall. Discovered that in the basement of Town Hall, there's, like, a Hall of Records, which includes, like, deep data for all users of Sneaky Sasquatch, like, including most money accrued by any player in the game, like richest Sasquatch or most fishes caught.
Oh.
Yeah, fastest lap time at the racetrack and all this stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And also, like, one of the things that, like, happens down the town hall is there's, like, a dry erase board where there's, like, a daily challenge that happens. And it'll be, like, something in the world that you can engage with. And like there's a game in the arcade called Parking Master. And so like today's challenge in the basement of the town hall was like most cars parked in Parking Master. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, I haven't even played Parking Master yet. There's so much in this game. So like engaging with all those systems. I just got my permit to go take a license to become a taxi driver. At which point, like, there's a cab driver in town who wants to sell his taxi. And I discovered that there's a bank heist quest, which I don't even know how to unlock yet. The more I engage with it, like, the more it reminds me of the Yakuza games and Shenmue. Like, this is Shenmue or Yakuza. It is a small, cozy, bespoke, well-designed open world where there's not a lot of fluff, but everything is fun. I really, really hope that they bring this game to other platforms. I think that this game would absolutely murder on Switch. I really do. So I also want to like speak to these developers. I'm going to reach out to them this week to see if they'd be open to an interview. I would love to talk about this development process and, you know, talk about their influences, because there's so much stuff in it where I can like point at it and go like, haha, like that's clearly the influence of Earthbound, and this is clearly the influence of Yakuza, and like getting a chance to like really get in there and like dig with it. If I had clearly known when this game first became available to me that this is what if Earthbound and Yakuza had a baby, like I said, like it would have been a very, very different thing during Game of the Year. It would have been a thing where I did more hollering, but this happens to us now and again. You know, like I think that like famously examples of this include like Tegan's, you know, she played Nier after the fact, and
I did.
Yeah.
Whoops.
And these things happen. So
it almost, and maybe this is just like to me, like it almost feels like there's too much to do. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It just sounds like there's a lot going on.
But there's a lot going on in the Yakuza games, but you also never feel overwhelmed by it, because the way you engage with those games is like the Yakuza games are like, hey friend, you find what's interesting to you and you fuck with that and don't feel any pressure to fuck with the other stuff. Rocky, would you say that's fair?
Yeah, I think the big thing is that like Brian's telling us about everything that he discovers.
Right.
And so like mapping out like the entire like wealth of experience that like Sneaky Sasquatch has, it's something closer to like a fool's errand when talking about like the game as a whole. Like if I'm talking to people about Yakuza, I'm going to talk about like my experience and like engaging with the story and the wacky adventures that I personally had.
Right.
But like to try to tell someone everything that's going into Yakuza like is almost certainly overwhelming, which isn't their goal. If you wander into a police station someday, maybe you could be a police officer. Who knows? The possibilities are endless.
Yeah, and that might be something that I'm doing wrong in describing this game.
Jesus Christ, Brian, just talk about the game. You want to talk about it.
No, I don't think it's that. I feel like I would be overwhelmed, because I am overwhelmed with all the options in Yakuza. That's part of why I don't play it. It's because there's too much to do.
So, like, about that, Yakuza, much in the way of games like Persona, are games that are best played blind for that specific reason. Like, if you have a map of all the things that are going to happen, there's almost no chance that you'll decide to do anything, let alone do anything well. And so, like, you should just go into the game and react to the things that are around you. Because the developers, instead of creating, like, a set list of things that they expect you to react to, they just kind of pepper the map with stuff. Mm-hmm. And if you react to it, cool. And if you don't, that's fine. But if you ever become interested, it'll still be here.
Okay, so interest mapping and the way interest draws players around a map, I think is like a good call out, because I theoretically could have gotten to the island as soon as I was able to wear human clothes, because then I would have been able to like buy a ferry ticket and go. And it's not like the road down to the ferry wasn't available. It was always available. I just never bothered to go south on that road.
Sure.
Until I was like, I need fucking scuba gear. And then like I hunted every part of the map that I knew for scuba gear. And I was like, I can't find scuba gear. And then I was like, wait a minute, here's this road I've never been down. And then I went down there And I was like, holy shit, there's an entire other map here. I ride a ferry, I have to be issued a new map, like, and it was revelatory because interest had never pulled me down that road. So, like, player behavior to, like, physical space and interest mapping, like, I think is a good point. Like, I never felt overwhelmed because I didn't go there when there wasn't something that wasn't interesting to me to do that pulled me there.
Right.
I think it's conceivable that somebody could play Sneaky Sasquatch and just, like, spend all their time on the mountains skiing or hang out at the racetrack driving. Because, like, you know, one of the things that I lamented during Game of the Year was playing RC Pro-Am and being like, why aren't there more games that, like, racing games that have kind of like the pulled away mini card side perspective where you're not like behind the wheel or behind the car.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and now all of a sudden I'm playing a game that offers me that perspective on driving.
It's like, geez, Grind, just play a game from this century. Like, my God.
Yeah.
It's like people improve upon games that they liked as children.
Yeah, and it's like, oh wow, so it's like I've totally got this entirely like complete RC Pro-Am experience where I'm like racing from that perspective, and I'm getting to upgrade cars and paint cars, and build a car collection. I've got a place where I can display my cars, and so like I think it's very, very possible in this game to just engage with the parts that interest you. Like I haven't even engaged like the fashion stuff, and normally like that's one of the first things that draws me in a game.
Sure.
I love the fashion stuff, but like there is like a duck who like has a shop in a tree now, and the duck is like, I can help you build customizable outfits. I'm like, that seems great, but not right now. I have to go be an Uber Eats driver now.
There's just so much to do.
Yeah. But like, once again, all of it is literally as important as you want it to be.
Exactly.
This is where those quiz results we did earlier are definitely showing themselves, because I'm like, this is too much. There's too much to do. Just show me how to get to the end. I spent 15 minutes being a car insurance salesman, selling people 15% or more of their car insurance.
As near as I can tell, Tegan, there is not a way to sell car insurance in this game.
There might be, Brian. There might be.
There might be, Brian.
If you find it, you have to let us know.
Brian, okay, tell me about Unruly Heroes.
Unruly Heroes is a action platformer.
Sure.
Very, very beautifully animated.
Mm-hmm.
Satisfying assortment of heroes. It's based on Journey to the West. It's kind of like scratching two itches for me. I was looking for a fast and floaty platformer, and I was also looking for a game where it would be satisfying to like absolutely like murder hordes and hordes of goons.
Sure.
And Unruly Heroes says, well, why not both? And so like there's very, very fast and floaty jumping going on. Also very much in that like Super Mario Brothers 2 vein. The physics of each character's jumps and strikes are different. So different levels are different balances for like, oh, this level is like easier to take this character, et cetera, et cetera. There's like good grinding and upgrades progression like between levels. So that's been pretty satisfying. Something else that kind of like took me by surprise is that I think this game came out first, I think on PlayStation and Xbox, but it's just out here being $2 on my phone. Yeah, that's something which like is a byproduct of the really, really bad habits that I think a lot of players have gotten into in like a mobile space. People are used to games on phones have to either be free or 99 cents because what they're going to try and do is extort fuck you once the game is installed. Like nobody wants to pay for games on their phones.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
And so like here's this like fully featured beautiful action platformer that yes, first came out for Xbox One, PS4, and Switch and was $15 on that platform. And now here is that game, and it is $2 here. And it is $2 because most people are like suspicious of anything that costs more than 99 cents.
Can't wait till Last of Us 2 shows up on iPad for $5.
You say that, Rocky, but like it feels like we're not that far off. Like,
yeah,
And there are definitely developers that try to go with that premium pricing on phones. I'm not going to shy away from it because I think that a game should be priced to what the game is priced at. Like, developers set a price, that's what they want to go for. But when people get into a space where they're like limited by what folks' expectations are of the price point, developers are, I think it was when Activision and EA were like, hey, everybody, games are going to be $70 on the PS5 and Xbox Series X. The amount of like revolt and anger I heard from people online was like, I would never. I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right, now look, I might have a problem with this from Activision and EA in specific. These companies, just because of the way they manage their ethics and they manage their money.
And we'll talk about that later for sure.
Exactly. But like if developer X out there who doesn't have that weird baggage said that they wanted to charge $70 for a game, I'm not going to have a problem with it. That's their choice. They're like, hey, here's what our development cost was. Here's what we need to do. And if their estimation is we sell, like, say, fewer copies at a higher cost, like, then that's fine. That's their model. Again, I have problems with EA and Activision specifically, but there's these people out there who have like this idea, like, oh, well, here's what an indie game should cost. An indie game should be $15. I'm like, first of all, what's an indie game anymore? It's a bullshit label. And like, if you take a look at the development cost and development time invested in some of these games, like $15 is a ridiculous ask. And then in the mobile space, to be like, okay, well, games should never cost more than $1. When you put these kind of like limits on things, like it's going to limit the type of experience that you have. And so like, color me surprised if this game that I feel like I should be paying $10 to $15 for cost me $2. Also, I downloaded Punch Planet.
For sure.
Rocky, have you engaged with this?
Yeah, but like a long time ago. When I went to EVO, their devs were running an alpha of Punch Planet.
Mm-hmm.
It felt good at the time. It seemed really futuristic. Ironically, a lot of its style feels very Steven Universe to me, despite, coming out or being in development. Well, development's a stranger word because Rebecca Sugar had been working on Steven Universe for like forever. But
right.
Its aesthetic is very similar to that of Steven Universe long before the show aired on Cartoon Network.
Mm-hmm.
But, it had the standard stuff. Like, it had Shotos, it had Zoner characters. I think there was actually a charge character in the main cast, like, back in the fucking alpha. So, like, just seemed like a sci-fi, like, fighting game.
I definitely love the aesthetic, and I immediately recognized it as being informed. I think went into alpha, in like December of 2018, and then was out of early access enough to end up on like Apple Arcade in November of 2019.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Right. I think there was already like Steven Universe that was like in the world available to people in 2018, or am I wrong there?
No, that's definitely true. Like, I played this as a demo at EVO in like 2013.
Jesus. Development is long in video games, people.
Right. That's what I mean. That's what I was saying.
Right. Damn.
Mm-hmm.
So it's neat. This gave me my first, really strong opportunity to try out the D-pad on my backbone.
For sure.
And also, take a look at, what the tutorial and training area is like in this game.
Sure.
Okay, so the tutorial is just I don't know, here's a list of moves.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And the training area is, a room with a character as a dummy, and it lets you swap out what character is the dummy, I guess, because the various hitboxes. You want to what do I do with this against Dog? What do I do with this against Sid, etc.?
Yeah, there's definitely some characters that probably have character specific combos.
Right, but it's just throwing you in the room, and it's like, okay, do the shit. Go look at the list and now do the shit. And I was like, okay, and then I went online. And I got bodied.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. But Brian, once again, I do want to emphasize that is always going to happen.
Yes.
Like, until, like, you know, you have, like, the fundamentals, like, when you go online, like, you're probably going to get bodied. If I picked up Punch Planet today, I'd probably go online and get bodied. Like, maybe I'd win some eventually, but, like, I fully expect I'm going to show up and get my ass kicked because Punch Planet's been around for, like, 4 years or whatever.
So I think that what I'm going to do is follow your advice. You said when you're playing a fighting game, like, pick a character you like, which I think makes sense. Because if you like them, I think you're more inclined to, like, stick with them.
Right.
The whole notion of finding the Ryu and playing the Ryu is dumb.
It's not great, honestly, because, like, initially it did seem like that, like, fighting games were, I guess, focused around, like, an all-rounder, and then characters, like, branched off of those particular skills.
Mm-hmm.
But it hasn't really been that way in a long time. Like, the archetypes are just so different, and, like, the information is so large, regardless of what game you're playing. You might as well just, like, get in where you fit in.
Right. And there's a character in this game named Tiara.
Is that tall blue-haired lady?
Yes, very tall blue-haired lady. And Tiara is a Zangief-style grappler.
For sure. That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
I remember her, actually. She was in that beta. Or whatever I played.
Right. And so I'm like, okay, all right, this is the one. I love the way this character looks. I love the way this character, like, moves. Like, I love grapplers. This character is cut from the same cloth as, like, tall vampire mommy. Like,
yeah.
If I can make tall space mommy step on people, then I've done justice. So I was really surprised at, like, the absolutely ridiculously expensive and lush, beautiful hand-drawn animation opener of this video game. Like,
honestly, I feel like they were trying to pitch a show at some point, but I can't remember.
That checks out. Like, it had that vibe.
Yeah.
It's definitely the type of thing that, like, sets a mood and sets a vibe so that when it dumps you into the title and is like, Punch Planet, I'm like, yeah, okay, let's do this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there's crossplay going on in this thing. I did not have trouble finding a match when I queued up.
It's basically on PC, the Apple family. So I don't think they'd have a lot of trouble doing crossplay. And since it is running GGPO, I don't even think it's running through anyone's specific servers. I think it's just like Sector K, like the dev. So there probably is crossplay.
Yeah, that's wild. GGPO on my fucking iPhone. There we go.
What a time to be alive.
What a time to be alive. Speaking of what a time to be alive, the Snyder Cut came out.
Oh, yeah, sure.
All 4 hours of it.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a lot of that, and I don't know what that means.
You remember Justice League was a movie that came out about 4 years ago?
It actually came out?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It was generally not liked.
Right.
A lot of the criticisms was that it was trying to do what Marvel was doing, but DC, and people saw that and they didn't like that either.
Okay.
But the guy who actually filmed the movie, Zack Snyder, had a cut of the movie that he's been trying to get released for years. And I guess WB not Interactive, but WB decided, yeah, sure, man, we'll put it out. Put it on HBO Max. Who cares? It's really long, but it seems to have been received better overall.
Okay.
So like, first of all, there was no such thing as a Snyder Cut. It literally didn't exist because, like, during filming, Zack Snyder had to leave production the first time.
That's true.
Because he had a child die while he was working on the movie.
Okay.
Right.
And so he and his wife was like the on-set producer, like she is one of the executive producers. So he and his wife left production, at which point Warner Brothers is like, hey, Zach, take the time you need. And while you're away, we're going to bring in Joss Whedon to finish your movie.
Yeah.
No.
Right.
Oh, no.
They're like, the nerd's like Joss Whedon, right? He reads comic books.
Yeah, he's one of those. And, I mean...
Oh, no.
And so, like, of course, like, Joss Whedon was brought in to, like, add, like, 900 shots of Wonder Woman's ass.
Mm-hmm.
Classic.
Which is a thing that definitely happened. Like, there is, like, 11 billion shots of Gal Gadot's ass in Justice League. It's, like, fucking ridiculous.
I think it's actually Godot, but I know what you mean.
Okay. I thought it wasn't Godot because it's not French, it's Israeli.
Maybe. If everyone's pronouncing it wrong, and that includes me, I will totally apologize. But that's just what I've heard. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. And, of course, Whedon also, Whedoned up the dialogue.
Yeah.
So there's, a lot of, wacky humor, as opposed to, giving characters any kind of, meaningful characterization. He just, gave them, air quotes, human stuff to do. There's this whole, weird C-plot about, a Russian family cowering under a dining room table who are we're all going to die. They end up having to be saved by the superheroes. He thought that was a way to characterize the superheroes, I guess, ... question mark. And, the movie begins, with this weird thing where, kids are holding up, a phone and, interviewing Superman. Superman, you're like a fly? That's nice. Okay. Late breaking news. Godot is correct.
No.
All right.
No, good dot is correct.
Wait. Godot?
Yes.
Godot.
Okay. So it's Godot, not Godot. It's Godot. Okay, there we go.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Neat. Everyone goes home a winner. Check under your seats. We're all going to Australia.
Woo! This is after the Panini, though, right?
That is correct. Yes.
Cool, okay.
All right. So, yeah, he made a movie that was, mostly incoherent and also kind of racist. One of the things that Joss Whedon did was, basically remove everything that Cyborg does in the movie.
Yep.
Oh, no.
Right.
Cyborg's cool, though.
He is very cool, actually. Yeah.
And Snyder's vision of the film was that Cyborg was supposed to be the emotional heart of the film.
Right.
Right. I'm not going to say that this is a great movie by any measure. It definitely suffers from, some of, Zack Snyder's, weaknesses where you're hey, Zack Snyder, what you up to? And he's I don't know, man. I'm Zack Snyder, you making something in slow motion? Zack Snyder? Fine. Kicks
God, I really wish this was actually all of Zack Snyder's weaknesses, but we know they're not.
Right. I think that another problem that Zack Snyder has as a storyteller is, an inability to recognize subtextual narrative if it isn't thrust in his face in a very obvious way. And this comes from his failure, or I think it's most recognizable in his failure to understand the subtextual narrative of 300 and the subtextual narrative of Watchmen, where the subtextual narrative of Watchmen is an indictment and a rejection of fascism, and the subtextual narrative of 300 is an endorsement and an embracing of fascism. And, it's very, very obvious when you watch these two movies directed by Zack Snyder that Zack Snyder doesn't fucking get it in either case. That he's just I don't know, everybody, they got swords. And they're just when he made Watchmen, Rorschach seems nice. And it's just oh. Would you say that's fair, Rocky?
Yeah, it's fair.
I don't by any measure think that Zack Snyder is actually a bad guy and a fascist. I just think he's bad at reading.
Not everyone can follow those context clues.
Just Zack Snyder is illiterate, everyone.
Fuck. Imagine Zack Snyder if he had to, take freshman literature class. Fuck. So, back to, the testament of, is Zack Snyder an asshole or not? And is Zack Snyder, a person who, comports himself as a human being should? Coming out of making Justice League, a lot of the people who were in those movies were you know what? I'm done with these things. Ever. Ben Affleck didn't want to be the Batman anymore. Henry Cavill didn't want to be Superman anymore. And holy shit, even getting into the stuff with fucking Cyborg. But, Zack Snyder got a hold of, the green light and the money to go back and reshoot a bunch of shit that he never got to shoot. And everybody was oh, we will come back for him. That's a personal testament to, his personal integrity, his qualities. Even, if somebody doesn't want to, touch something anymore, and they're you know what, I'll do this for my homie. I'll do this for my buddy. I don't want to be Batman anymore. It fucking sucks to be Batman, but, I'll go be Batman for 3 more weeks to, help my friend. I think it speaks to that person. Lots of people didn't want to do work for Warner Brothers anymore or ever be around Joss Whedon again because Joss Whedon's a complete piece of shit.
Yeah, he sucks.
Yeah, he fucking sucks. 900 shots of Wonder Woman's ass. This movie, I will say, is good, not great. It is overlong. It is overlong because of excessive slow-mo in the first 2 hours. But it's really fucking cool to, like, see this person be given access to, like, complete their vision basically because people were like, I want to see what he intended in the first place. So, like, it's weird to call it the Snyder Cut because a lot of this footage didn't even exist and required, like, reshoots. It's not truly the Snyder Cut because,
It's
like...
just the Snyder version. It's just his movie.
The Snyder version. Yeah. Also, it being in, like, 4:3 and being shot for 4:3, like, very, very intentionally. Like, people, like firing this movie up on their televisions and going, like, why are there black bars on the right and left? It's like, well, there's black bars on the right and left because Zack Snyder shot this movie originally with IMAX in mind. Because IMAX is a 4:3 aspect ratio, here we are. And so he didn't want to cut off the tops and bottoms of the frame in order to, like, make it fit your widescreen television. It's the same thing as, like, when we had, like, letterboxed VHSs back in the day. People were like, but now the right and left is missing. It's like, no, the right and left is not fucking missing. Like, settle down. I'd say, like, hey, if you got the HBO Max and 4 hours to kill and are, like, kind of curious about, like, this guy's unfettered artistic vision, it's worth a go.
I mean, let's be honest. If you're alive in the present day and you have HBO Max, you have the 4 hours to kill. Like, come on.
Okay. I don't know whether to feel attacked by that or not.
Well, Brian, I don't have...
It's a call-out post for you in particular.
Personally assaulted by Rocky.
Oh, my God.
Also, like, I'm just going to say this real fast because we've got to get to news. But Jesus Christ, people, watch fucking Servant. Good Lord. It just wrapped up its second season, and I cannot think of a more fucking bonkers, bad shit, Looney Tunes, motherfucking wild ride that I am on watching television. There are so many people out there for whom Rupert Grint is Ron Weasley. That is what he is to those people.
Sure.
That's my brother.
But for me, Rupert Grint is Julian on Servant. Rupert Grint is a guy walking around drinking constant scotch and sodas, saying fuck all the time, doing rails of coke off of the bathroom sink, and coming up with, like, a terrible pun name for a fake pizza parlor in order to trick what he believes is, like, a cult of, like, shut-in Christians into ordering pizza. They're like, how are we going to get these people to order pizza? And I can't even begin to describe the ridiculous conditions where people are trying to get a fake cult to order pizza. But, like, there's Rupert Grint, scotch and soda in hand. He's like, the answer's obvious. We call it Jesus crust.
Oh, I love that.
Yes.
I love that so much.
If anyone's living in LA, apparently Apple is promoting the show Servant by offering a limited number of free pizza through 2 pizzerias, Guggelina and Milo and Olive. So, you know, you can do that, I guess.
That's great.
It's a $30 pie. That's kind of insane.
Wait, $30?
That's what it says. The pie's listed at $30 at each pizzeria. But you get it for free.
This all checks out with the show. Like, on the show, the whole Jesus crust thing, the central character who is, depending on what you believe, the child is dead, or resurrected, or stolen, or is possibly a fucking doll. There are multiple possibilities. Is also, like, a master chef, and in an effort to get into this, like, one gated house, this master chef is like, well, we'll create, like, fake takeout flyers and delivery flyers for this, like, pizza place, so that way my apprentice can, like, pretend to be a pizza delivery man to get in with a hidden camera. This show's so wild. It's a ride. He's basically making all of these pizzas at a loss. They're like, every time we make a $30 pie, it costs us $50. Like, these ridiculous over-the-top, like, pies. And, like,
The $30 pizza costs the company $50?
right, because there is no actual pizza company. Like, he's doing these all out of his, like, home kitchen. He, like, has this, he gets, like, this, like, wood-fired stove to put outside. It's...
Yeah, I guess that makes sense, at least early on.
Yeah, that's Sean. Like, there's this whole, like, ongoing plot with, like, Sean about whether or not he can even taste because he thinks he's been cursed. And he stops feeling things, and so he, like, burned his hand, and his hand starts getting, like, healed by a, like, crazy Uncle George. This show's like, okay, Apple TV is like $5 a month, right? $5 a month. Drop the $5. Watch the first 2 seasons of Servant. The show's a half hour. Once again, I'm asking you to spend 10 hours doing a thing. Spend 10 hours watching the first two seasons of Servant.
I mean, it's less time than it would take to play Resident Evil 7.
It is less time than it will take you to play Resident Evil 7. Fucking Looney Tunes.
Drop the login, Brian.
Drop.
You want me to watch it that bad? Drop the login.
Tegan.
You want to do the news?
Tegan, if I send you $5, I send you $5.
If you send me $5, I will watch a wrestling show. No, I'm kidding. I'll watch those for regular. If you send me $5, I'll sign up for Apple TV for a month and then forget I have it and just keep it on a reoccurring charge.
Classic.
Fantastic.
Call to action?
Call to action.
Call to action!
As people may or may not know, there was a horrific attack in Georgia this past week that led to the deaths of 8, 6 of whom were of Asian American descent. We are asking you, as members of Impossible Coin, to stop Asian hate and to stand against anti-Asian violence. If you are Patreons, or honestly, we'll put it in our description. We will link the cards for Stop Asian Hate and Anti-Asian Violence resources. And we hope that you donate, spread awareness, and stand alongside Asian Americans during this time. And honestly, in the future, Jesus Christ, they're citizens like the rest of us.
That dude, we're not going to say his name.
Nope.
Because we don't talk about literal murderers who commit hate crimes on here. But he can suck my entire asshole. And also, the cop needs to quit. You know the cop.
Didn't he sell a shirt that was like, whatever, I don't want to deal with this. It's fine.
Okay.
Nope. We don't have to do with it, but he needs to quit. That's it.
The cop shirt makes me tired. What the cop said makes me tired. The murderer needs to be dumped in the sea. You know what? No, dumping in the sea is too good for him. But fuck him. Fuck him. But what I will say is putting the focus where it needs to be on the people who lost their life.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to write about this, if you're going to report on this, if you're going to participate in the discourse on this, then realize that not every family wants the name discussed of the victim. Not everybody wants their name dragged into the light here. So respect the privacy of the families who have chosen to deal with this privately. Respect that. And if you can't immediately find an English language news source that lets you know which is which, then maybe put on your fucking helmet and find a Korean language news source that does translate it and deal with it. Also, when discussing these people online, make sure you are inputting names correctly. Can you imagine if somebody wrote Tay space L Swift, and that was how they put the name on the fucking internet? Because it's been nothing but that shit this week. Left and right. Mangling of names. Don't mangle names. Also, the victims. 8 dead, 7 women, 1 man. Something which people seem to not want to talk about as part of the discourse here. Something which the mayor of Atlanta said, which I thought was like the careful parsing of words, is these are businesses that are legally operated and none of them were on our radar. Seemed to be a way of what I think was trying to, like, air quote, like, preserve the dignity of the victims. But something that needs to be said here is that, because it's part of this, is that these places were like massage parlors. The women that were killed were sex workers. And it is because of the way that fucking white men trivialize and commodify Asian women is how we got here. Because of, like, generations of colonialism, imperialism, and dehumanizing Asian women. To take what these places were truly out of the equation by pretending that they were not sex workers lets the killer off the hook and grossly oversimplifies and takes some of the hard stuff out of the conversation about this. So fucking look deep, look inside, get out your wallet. We know that our listeners aren't pieces of shit, so don't be a piece of shit. And if you don't follow any of our calls to action, you know what? You're off the hook. You don't have to watch Servant. Care about this. If you
Yes!
if you still have anything in the tank after that, then watch Servant. How about that? Fuck. Tegan, I know that you have plenty of the tank. You're a maniac.
I do, but, yeah, I have plenty of the tank. I could definitely watch Servant. And, I already donated, so, haha!
There you go. All right. Well, let's talk about things that are guaranteed to not make us mad.
In similar news, Riot's internal investigation of their CEO found no evidence of harassment or discrimination against female employees. Because of course it didn't. Yay! Men suck, dudes. Like, come on. Yeah. So, Riot Games did their own internal investigation of their chief executive, Nicolo Laurent. You know, following a workplace discrimination lawsuit that was filed in January, which I think we covered. I think we mentioned it.
We did.
And they were, quote-unquote, unable to find any evidence that would justify a sanction of any kind. Yay! If you don't remember what the lawsuit was, because we did cover it, O'Donnell, who is an employee at Riot Games, alleged that Laurent had propositioned her and asked her to travel with him and to work from his home, and then had her fired after she said, "That's creepy, I'm reporting you to HR," and reported him to HR. So, workplace retaliation at its finest. A special committee that was put together by the board said it concluded there was no evidence that Laurent harassed, discriminated, or retaliated against Sharon O'Donnell, who, you know, has the civil suit. And Riot called the investigation rigorous and made sure to note that parted ways with senior leaders when we validated inappropriate or discriminatory behavior. We were fully prepared to do it again. But in relation to this, the Esports Observer has reported that as of last week, Monday, Dell's Alienware has terminated their sponsorship agreements with Riot, and that deal wasn't set to expire for another year. So, other companies sure seem to think something else happened, and the civil suit, I do believe, is still going forward, so...
Yeah.
You know.
I remember there was like a move, I forgot what happened specifically, but there was something that Riot was doing to try to move the concern to like arbitration, which would have been dumb for O'Donnell, because nothing would have been done, but like...
Right.
Also, if I remember correctly, I think this special committee of the board actually consists of board members that, quote-unquote, don't have any allegiances to Laurent specifically, which is difficult to believe. And the investigation was technically external, but only because this special committee of the board hired a law firm to look into it.
Yes. All of those things are correct.
But, you know, it's all, like, subterfuge and collusion and shadow government, so, like, god damn it.
So stop giving Riot your money. I don't care how good their skins are.
Okay.
I don't care how good their skins are. Stop
That's
it.
the thing that I feel weird about. Because I know everything that Riot does will pay Laurent. Absolutely true. Which will only grant him and the people who are loyal to him more power over the video game space. But it does seem to me that there are developers in Riot that are working specifically to make games a better, more inclusive place, irrespective of this particular thing. And I do appreciate the fact that Riot is taking heat for this publicly, but I am hard-pressed to believe that these situations aren't more widespread throughout the industry and are just simply better at keeping them out of the news. Because if we're being honest, like, Riot Games is, like, mostly run by, like, recovering frat boys.
Recovering frat boys?
I mean, they are. Tell me I'm wrong.
I don't think I can.
I read a Twitter thread this week with Katie Sharonis, who tried to, like, earnestly respond to, like, the type of heat that, like, Riot Games is taking. And she's not a shill or anything. It's mostly, like, very simple question, which is, your company's in the news again with sexual harassment. Like, what's up with that? Why do you still work there? And like, that's a rough thing for like anyone to answer in any circumstance. But like, given like the game industry specifically, like the way that these types of allegations like seem to play out, especially with the type of people who end up being at the top, who are like, you know, largely just people who had a good idea that got coded before like anyone with any sense of responsibility paid attention to them. And they blew up because they built a huge audience and now they have a shit ton of cash lying around. And there are people in those spaces that are trying to, you know, earnestly make the world a better place that aren't the people at the top. And it's shitty for them. And when I read this thread for Katie Sharonis, it felt very much like a Suzaku the counterattack type of situation where she knows that like the industry has like maybe not necessarily a rotten core, but like significant rotten spots that can't be ignored. And they're earnestly trying to do things to make it a better place. And leaving isn't exactly the best answer for them specifically. That being said, I don't think I'm going to give Riot any money anytime soon.
It's one of those like trying to change it from the inside out sort of deals.
Yeah.
And like, I get that, and that's probably definitely the best way to do it, but how do we punish rich white men who get away with shit? Because no one wants to punish rich white men.
Yeah. That's one of the reasons that I'm unwilling to say that it is the best way to fix things. Like,
we really need a way to punish rich white men that doesn't punish the people who are stuck working for them.
Right. Yeah.
That's what we need. I don't know how we get that. Someone who is smarter than me needs to figure that out. Lots of people are smarter than me.
I mean, maybe if the ESA had some fucking teeth.
Yeah, if the ESRB had any teeth, I'm sure they could be like, nope, unacceptable. We're not rating your game anymore and you can't, like, sell in the US.
Yeah. Or even, like, fucking, like, you know, Tencent, who, like, straight up wholesale owns Riot Games, could just simply say, hey, this is bullshit, cut it out. But they don't, you know? And
they could take his entire bonus and force them to donate it to, like, something that supports women's issues.
Damn, like, bonus, Tegan, they could take his fucking salary. Say, like...
They could take his salary, but, like, you know,
but
we're gonna start with the bonus, because everybody always seems to get a bonus.
You could be a CEO or whatever, but you make $1 this year, and we're gonna take the money that we would have given you and use it towards people that are actually making the world a better place. Those are things that could realistically happen if someone got off their fucking ass, but they're not. And this is where we are.
And this is why I need to be instilled as the chairman of the ESRB rating system.
Yeah. Brian, any words?
This seems like a good moment to say the ESA has outgrown its usefulness. Like, we already know that they won't rate things in any kind of, like, meaningful way.
Yeah.
Like, disclosing, like, legitimately harmful content. Like, hey, friends, this contains addictive gambling shit, which is designed to break you. Or, like... hey, friends, the product that you're purchasing is meaningfully incomplete in real ways and will require additional purchases to essentially activate the product. Like, the ESA doesn't do any of that.
So, like, I think the big problem with, like, those types of things specifically is the ESA is too closely tied to the powerhouses in the industry.
Well, they are the powerhouses of the industry. It's what they are. Like,
I agree that functionally that is their purpose. But the ESA was essentially created to make sure that Congress doesn't regulate video games. It's to prove that they could self-regulate, right? And the way that, like, video games are self-regulating is, like, causing problems, but also is designed to kind of protect the interests of the publishers and the publishers alone. And
right.
If they essentially made new alliances, I think they could act more in the interests of those alliances. Because the truth is, like, they are functionally of the industry because the industry is the one that pays their fees. They're the one that pay the retainers for the lawyers that they hire. They're the ones that pay the people to write the type of legislation that they try to suggest in Congress and shit like that. And if they were tied to something else, then maybe they'd be more willing to, like, protect consumers in any meaningful way. But because they are not, they don't. And I think if, like, the ESA were somehow claimed by some other entity, they could probably do a bit better. But I don't think that ESA, by definition, is necessarily corrupt.
We just have to perform a semi-hostile takeover of the ESA.
Yeah.
Rocky, your optimism is very nice.
Thanks, man. I'm fighting for a better world.
Your optimism is appreciated. Remember, we're gonna live 1,000 years.
God.
Brian, you gotta get on board.
I can't.
Brian, we gotta make those long-term plans, dude. Alright? Like, they're gonna be telling us, like, time to get you to bed, grandma, grandpa, but then, like, you know, afterwards, like, once they're gone, we sneak out of the room, we do our real plans.
There is no rehabilitating the ESA. Just none.
I think...
None.
I don't think, like, we need to keep, honestly, any of the people that are there. I think, honestly, if we keep the name and, like, essentially burn everything else down, which could be argued is a shell of the former ESA, I think that could still be useful to us. Because I think what the ESA is supposed to do, based on their name, and, like, what the relationship that they should have to consumers is valuable. Whether that means that we create a new organization that does the same thing, or simply take over the ESA specifically, both seem like valuable ideas. Even, you know, I think I can envision a scenario where a new organization now fights against the ESA, but is, like, specifically concerned about consumer interest rather than, like, the platform, like, industry ones. And I still think we get closer to things that we want.
I like that for a video game. Can someone make that a video game so that people think that it's a feasible idea and then start actually fighting for it?
That could be fun. I'm interested in that. What's his? Let's get Sid Meier on it. Talk to him about it. See if he's, like, interested.
Yeah, we can, like, aggregate the data based on how, like, players end up exploiting issues in, like, the American legislative system, and we can use that to avoid those pitfalls.
Riot, right?
Yeah, Riot.
Oh, fuck 'em.
Rito.
Yeah, fuck Riot, dude.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Support fan artists, like, fuck Riot.
That's right. They did go to war against fan artists for some reason. What's that about?
And cosplayers, like, fuck
Jesus. Even though, like, Sneaky
people
was like a pro player and a prolific, like, cosplayer. That's so stupid.
Yep.
Whatever, I don't care.
We care. We don't care. We care, but we don't care.
All right. Okay, I'm gonna move on to the next story. Fuck, this story is so stupid. Okay.
You're welcome. I'm glad you like it.
A few weeks ago, there was a hashtag EAGate, that was circulating on Twitter to bring attention to the transfer of high-value FIFA Ultimate Team players. And these are players, not currency or the packs that contain players, but specific high-value players were being sold to individuals outside of EA's transfer marketplace. On March 12th, EA confirmed that this not only was this happening, but the originating accounts were internal to EA. We have a quote from their blog that reads, "When our investigation is completed, we will take action against any employee found to have been engaging in this activity. Any items granted through this illicit activity will be removed from the FUT ecosystem, and EA will permanently ban any player known to have acquired content through these means." End quote. EA is looking into the asset transfers, and they have tried to explain in the same blog post why these kinds of accounts are necessary in the first place, you know, to deal with, like, customer service concerns, to gift these types of assets to influencers or to professional players, which are essentially influencers in their ecosystem, so that they don't get yelled at even more on social media. It's like, well, why does accounts have the ability to give fucking Ronaldo to a player anyways? That's bullshit.
It's 100% so if Ronaldo is playing online, he can play as himself.
Right.
That's why.
But yeah, like, this is fucking dumb.
So dumb.
And, like, honestly, like, this is not gonna go away. When we reported about, actually, I don't even think it was last year. I think it was like 2 years ago when we said that, like, FIFA Ultimate Team made $900 million this year.
Mm-hmm.
There's obviously someone in EA that's gonna sell a couple characters on the side and make a couple grand, and no one will be the wiser. This is a problem that will not disappear anytime soon with EA. And once they get stomped out by this quote-unquote investigation, it's only going to get worse, because money is a much larger motivator for cheating than any other type of glory or honor bullshit that exists in competitive gaming.
There is a litmus test I like to apply to the world,
Sure. Yeah, tell me about it.
which is that if I can envision someone making a miniseries starring Seth Rogen about something that happened,
Fuck, Seth Rogen is definitely gonna be in this fucking... Oh, I hope him and Ken Burns are best friends. Like, I swear to God. Just make all this easier.
like, if the thing that happened at your company could end up being a miniseries directed by Adam McKay starring Seth Rogen, you fucked up.
You know what's actually really funny? I can see both Jennifer Lawrence and Ashton Kutcher and the Adam McKay pick about the FIFA scandal.
Right.
Oh my god.
The thing that happened at Riot, it fails the Seth Rogen test. This thing at EA, it fails the Seth Rogen test. Like, I could see these miniseries happening, like Seth Rogen as the well-meaning investigator being told he has to say that there's no malfeasance at Riot. He's like, what are you saying? What are you saying? Of course there's malfeasance, you fucko! Like, well, that's not what your report is going to say. I'm obviously played by Charles Dance from Game of Thrones.
God,
Charles Dance versus Seth Rogen. And this, like, FIFA thing is just so fucking stupid.
Yeah, it's really fucking dumb. God damn it.
It's great.
Oh, man.
Like,
I love dumb news.
oh, God. What I like about the EA story is that it hangs a lantern on something which EA and Activision say all the fucking time with a wink and a smile that we know is not true, which is when they talk about their in-game products, these items, and they're like, oh, the stuff that comes out of loot boxes isn't worth real money.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it fucking is, or you wouldn't sell it for real money.
Yeah, we wouldn't buy this shit from you. Like, what the fuck?
Right.
It would just be, like, available as, like, random-ass drops or something.
Right.
God.
It's like, you fucking pieces of shit. Like, of course it's worth real money. Like, otherwise you wouldn't have some idiot inside of your company trying to organize the Ronaldo heist. Like, heisting Ronaldos.
I like that for the name of the movie, please. Can we keep that for the movie
Ronaldo heist?
title?
I'm interested.
Yeah.
I'm just picturing some montage where the song Money is playing, and we just have, like, Seth Rogen, like, selling Ronaldos left and right and then smoking weed. Just...
Wait, which money? Are you talking about the Cardi B track?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I was just making sure.
Our movie's not going to suck, Rocky. We're here to bring the real fire.
What? I'm not gonna make a bad movie. Hell no.
Can we at one point have them, like, expand into other, like, companies that also say, like, oh yeah, no, this isn't worth, like, real money. So it could be, like, they're also doing, like, Fortnite loot boxes on the side and shit, so we can have the #1 Victory Royale song in there.
We have to do it if not only to allow Brian to hold a casting call for Randy Pitchford.
Oh, yes. Yes! I love this. Let's send it to print.
Randy Quaid is Randy Pitchford in Fuck This Shit.
Brian, you have a story for us?
I do. And speaking of fuck this shit,
It's that time of year. I mean, I don't know why you're surprised.
We're in a race to the bottom for most reprehensible business practice, the thing that we don't do anymore.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Like, Jesus.
okay, do you remember that time last year when we were at the very beginning of the pandemic?
Yeah.
And Activision announced, hey, everybody, we had our most profitable year yet. Here are 600 layoffs.
Yep, I remember that.
Yeah, I remember that. It was a good time. It was really a lovely afternoon.
So Activision had their yearly earnings report for their shareholders, and they beat last year's earnings, which means that this is, again, the most profitable year in the history of the company.
Oh, surprise. Yeah.
Okay, and it wouldn't be the most profitable year in the history of the company if they didn't lay off some people.
Oh, yeah.
Woo! Who's getting their pink slips this time? Is it Blizzard?
Oh, God. So they laid off about 200 people. A lot of the people that they laid off are coming from King, which is an Activision subsidiary which doesn't get a lot of attention.
Not enough Candy Crush levels?
So, okay. So back when everybody thought that, like, the Xbox One and PS4 were going to, like, come out and flop.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because people were like, people don't want game consoles anymore. Game consoles are over. They just want to play on their phones.
and then it was like it was like 3-4 years later when they had that BlizzCon. We're like, what? Don't you guys have phones?
Oh god, that was so funny.
A great BlizzCon moment. And, like, so back to like the opening years of that generation of consoles, we had like literally 2 years of major publishers scrambling to get shit out for the consoles because they literally didn't think anybody wanted them. There were like 2 years of like remasters and remakes and just like, hey guys, fuck, I don't know, this again. One of the things that Activision did when they thought that nobody wanted to play games on consoles and computers anymore was to buy King. They're like, fuck it, we're just going to buy the Candy Crush people and that'll keep us
afloat.
You know, that's the money forever, right? Like, you know, until like the Call of Duty people die of old age and go to the grandpa homes, we'll have all their kids who play the Candy Crush. That'll do it. Only they were wrong.
Yeah.
They were very wrong.
Surprise.
Yes. And like, as the monetization model that they adopted with Candy Crush has fallen more and more out of favor on mobile, and people look for more like deluxe experiences on mobile, the number of mobile players willing to pay more than free for a game is rising, and the number of people looking for monetization models which are not customer adversarial, like, I don't know, Xbox Game Pass or Apple Arcade. You know, people looking for things where like the game's not going to try and like fuck them every 20 seconds. Meant that the revenue year over year for Candy Crush has been decreasing. And so, like, Activision targeted 2 main groups of employees. Well, you know what? I'll say customers in a second because there's a thing they did in this layoff.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yep. We're getting there.
2 main groups of employees got targeted. People who work at King and people who work on their esports initiatives.
Right.
Here is a dumb quote from Activision. Players are increasingly choosing to connect with our games digitally, and the esports team, much like traditional sports, entertainment, and broadcasting industries, has had to adapt its business due to the impact of the pandemic and on live events. Okay.
So
here's what I'm going to say about this.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Before you say it, because I do want to think for a moment. The esports shuffle may have something to do with like a regime change, specifically with like Tony Petiti being like installed as like their head of like esports. He was like up for the MLB commissioner job, but he'd been there for like 10 years and he wasn't going to get it.
Right.
And so like he got poached by Kodak and ends up here.
Oh, I remember that.
This could be part of like him cleaning house before like his new like announcement or whatever comes out. I think it's covered, you know, potentially because it's like just before earnings call or whatever. But I think that might be part of it. But you were going to say something.
Yeah, I was going to lead off with fuck these people.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely.
Whenever talking about Activision Blizzard, the first bullet point is always fuck these people.
Guaranteed.
Or your money back. Well, not really, but you know what I mean.
God, like, honestly, it feels like we have, like, the senior council of the triumvirate of evil in this fucking episode. Like, Riot, EA, and Activision are just, like, they've got out their Ouija board, they're trying to summon Randy Pitchford. You know, just, Jesus.
Honestly, we should probably be looking for that transmutation circle, but whatever. We'll figure it out.
I thought they were trying to summon Elon Musk.
Elon Musk is already here, Tegan!
The Techno King! God damn it, I forgot that happened this week.
Yeah, that did happen this week.
Techno King.
We haven't talked about it, though.
For a second, I forgot that Elon Musk named himself Techno King.
Yeah, Techno King. Yeah.
Fuck.
For a moment, I lived in a world where Elon Musk did not exist.
Master of Coin. Jesus. But,
okay, Master of Coin's a cool title.
It's kind of cool, yeah, but like, you know, this kid's still a fucking dickhead. Like, I swear to God. Brian, talk. Jesus.
I don't know how a company can, with a straight face, report their most profitable year ever, go like, oh, we had to make some choices. We had to make some tough ones. Like,
Because they know their shareholders aren't going to look at it. They're never going to care. They watch the numbers go up. That's their lives or whatever.
The parallel between this action by Activision Blizzard and what WWE did is like disgusting, and Activision Blizzard should be ashamed.
Of course.
WWE in the pandemic had its most profitable year ever because of like locked in profit from television deals and the reduced cost associated with not having to travel the company. And if you look at the individual line items in the Activision profitability report, showed the substantial savings that the company experienced from having reduced infrastructure needs at their offices because no one was in the fucking office.
Right.
So, like, you know, when you have reduced power consumption, reduced consumables consumption, when you're not flying people around for fucking meetings, like, basically, a lot of the bread and butter of the things that, like, drives Activision's spending fell to the floor because everybody was, like, working remotely in the last year.
Right.
And it's a reminder that you don't work at home, you live at your office in this world. You know? Like, that is the fucking difference. And 100% work from home environment, it's no longer work at home, it's live at office. It's only work at home when, like, there is an office for you to go to realistically. And so, like, they took the profit which existed across every division, because every division went to remote working, and said, like, wow, the people at King don't cost us as much because they're all at home. The people who work in esports don't cost us as much as because they're all at home. Fuck them. Fuck them, fuck them, fuck them. Thanks for putting money in our pockets. Fuck you.
Bye.
Absolutely mind-boggling, because so many different models for competitive broadcast found ways to thrive and work in the last year, and like continue to offer like compelling media for people to watch. And Activision was like, you know what? We just couldn't figure out how to get people to watch this Overwatch or Hearthstone. You know, it's really hard. If we just can't get people into an arena and cut to like a cheering crowd shot every 45 seconds, we just don't know how to put on a show. So, you know, fuck it.
Okay, wait, no, hold on. Everybody shut up. 1 second. This is important as far as like broadcast video game stuff. Sony essentially bought EVO. If we want to get into the nitty gritty, Sony, in a joint venture with a new company called RTS, which is owned by Endeavor, and Endeavor runs a shit ton of professional sports. You should probably look into it. They run things like professional bull riding and cricket and UFC and, you know, now EVO. Full disclosure, my favorite professional bull rider is Ezekiel Mitchell, and I hate all of the bulls in professional bull riding. PSS. My favorite NBA team used to be the Chicago Bulls, but, you know, I stopped watching professional basketball. Anyways, the important detail about this is that because of this acquisition, EVO Online is back. It's going to take place over the first 2 weekends in August, and there's going to be open tournaments for 4 games, which are Tekken 7, Street Fighter V Championship Edition, Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate, and Guilty Gear Strive. Which means, so far, there is no Smash Bros., no Marvel game, no Dragon Ball Fighters for some reason, no Samurai Showdown, and no Soul Calibur. And also players from North and South America, Europe, and Asia will be able to compete in what they're calling regional qualifiers in hopes of rising to regional semifinals and eventually the top 8 for their respective games. The weird thing about Asia is that of the list, they mostly include East Asia, but South and West Asia are noticeably missing, including Pakistan, which is the home of the unified 2019 EVO champion, Arslan Ash, and he probably would have been the 2020 champion, except there wasn't a 2020 EVO. The reason there wasn't is because around the time that EVO Online was supposed to happen, there was a removal of the head of EVO, or CEO of EVO, Joey Mr. Wiz Quellar, after news of his sexual misconduct was made public last summer, leading to the cancellation of EVO Online 2020. However, in their press release, Sony stated that EVO Online 2021 will be free, as opposed to, you know, paying an entry fee like you would for the initial convention, or even, I believe, what was going to be EVO Online. The online qualifiers will be live streamed, which seems like an incredible logistical feat if they can get that done. And they said that more information will be available at evo.gg in the coming weeks. So EVO is essentially going corporate, which honestly, that doesn't bother me too much, because EVO was probably the most corporate of any of the major tournaments in the world, honestly. But it looks like there are a lot of things that are just immediately falling through the cracks that maybe they'll clarify over time, but I have no fucking idea.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Does EVO going corporate make it more or less rapey?
Technically, since no one will be able to show up to EVO, I think that absolves EVO from responsibility. I can't tell you if the event will ultimately result in more or less rape.
We'll find out, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I hope it's less. I mean, the ideal amount of rape that happens at any tournament is 0.
Yeah, any non-zero amount of rape in any event in any way, shape, or form is generally unacceptable. That's where I'm at.
Honestly, my first thought when Sony bought EVO was like, shit, you know what you're getting into here?
So about that, Sony specifically has actually had a very productive relationship with EVO over like the last like decade and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Most tournament rules for like EVO specifically use Sony consoles, even when players didn't actually use like Sony pads. Like famously, Punk, who plays for Panda Global, and Smug, whose affiliation I can't remember right now, actually play on Xbox pads with adapters at large tournaments. So you'll see them walking around with like an Xbox controller with like a USB plug attached to the end of their controller so that it can plug in and work on a PS4. They've been doing it for years. In fact, I believe it was 2017 where Punk made like a really great run and actually ended up getting second in Street Fighter V. He played with an Xbox controller the entire time. And one of the concerns that I do have about this new online EVO is because they do say that it's open to multiple consoles, but most of the games that they state are either on PC or on PS4. Tekken 7 specifically is listed for PC, which is actually solves a lot of the problems. But for things that are PS4 exclusive, like players that use like different pads, I guess they could use them at home if they have them. But like lesser known players who don't have them, I feel like that might get a bit trickier. But I don't know. I'd like to see how Sony responds to these types of things.
I was immediately wondering, like, if part of what this means is that publishers who have in the past been, like, weird with EVO and weird with the fighting game scene in general, like, Sony's just not going to bother to, like, bend over backwards to deal with their bullshit. Like, I could see this being the end of Smash for EVO.
Yeah, probably. Because Nintendo's not going to play ball. But right. I do know that Nintendo significantly benefits from like the exposure that EVO does give them. So what I might see, and it probably won't happen this year, is that in future years, especially when Sony like doesn't want to like, you know, give in to Nintendo shenanigans, that like Nintendo may give a clearer effort to like the Nintendo World Championships. I'm not sure if we'll see like Mario speedruns, but maybe they will like negotiate a bit more earnestly with like the Smash community regarding it. I don't think they'll like allow them to play stuff like Slippy, like at events or anything, but I do think that they may make a commitment for like stronger netcode or even like a more aggressive effort to support like other majors as opposed to just like, you know, the Nintendo World Cup Championship. Because, like, otherwise they'd lose out on that audience. And
wrap your mind around this for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You know how E3 is this big thing?
Sure.
And how lots and lots of publishers are like, well, we like the benefit of all of the people who are in town for one time for business and the concentrated consumer attention, but we don't necessarily want to deal with the ESA's bullshit. And so we're going to set up a giant booth across the street or down the street or across town, or we're not going to rent a stage for a press conference because we're just going to press play out a VCR. There's all of these people who kind of like participate without participating in E3.
Sure.
So I wonder if you have a Sony, which is going to have at the heart of its interest, no matter what they say, Sony's interests. If cool dad Phil Spencer showed up tomorrow, went, hey guys, Phil Spencer here. I was just wondering as you're selecting your 9 main stage games for EVO, if you'd be interested in this new game, which is called Killer Instinct: More Killer Instinct, could we do that? Would you guys be more interested in more Killer Instinct? I know that Killer Instinct is main stage before. In fact, it had a pretty strong EVO following for the first several years after release because of how well supported the game was. Oh, hello? I could see stuff like that, especially since we're like near the beginning of a console launch life cycle, and Sony's very like traditional view of like console ecosystems. I think that Smash and Killer Instinct are gone forever. Just they're gone.
I mean, maybe, but like Smash and like his community is essentially a host unto itself. Like to the point where like they wanted to split off of like CEO, at least for Smash specifically. And like Microsoft hasn't actually been treated kindly by like major events in like fighting games, and arguably it's because Microsoft doesn't really want to play ball. And they know that they don't actually need like what's considered the FGC for their fighting games to succeed. Killer Instinct is a good example. Like they actually have a very small but very focused like player base that for the most part doesn't really play anything else. And even like Mortal Kombat, which is cross-platform, it does show up on both PlayStation 4 and Xbox. But like its Xbox community, I hate to say this, but like vehemently and openly hates like its top players. People like Scar and like Sonic Fox. And so like they don't like really tune into EVO anyways. They play the game in a perspective that's like separate from the way that like the FGC interacts with it, which is why a lot of like Mortal Kombat like scrub quotes seem to show up on stuff like Xbox. I agree that maybe Sony decides to like formalize a walled garden with EVO, but to be honest, it's kind of been informal for a very long time. I'm not sure a lot of it will change. Like Smash ultimately ended up being there because the people that go to EVO wanted to celebrate and play Smash there. And they've definitely demonstrated over the years that they're going to play and demonstrate their love for Smash wherever they're capable. And if EVO turns out to not be a place to do that, they'll ultimately be just fine.
And where I was going with all this is if EVO, I guess, ceases to, like that top of the mountain for the FGC, you were talking about like that wall was there, but it was just informal. Mm-hmm. If that does get formalized, then like there's no longer even the illusion of neutrality. Then I wonder if what happens is at the same time that EVO is going on at the convention center in Mandalay Bay, that Nintendo is at Caesar's Palace with like a world championship.
I mean, that makes some sense. I mean, stuff like that's happened before. Like, if like a Nintendo World Championship happened like during the summer anyways, and like if they decide to like make it the same weekend as EVO, like that wouldn't be that huge of a change, if I'm being honest.
Right. One of the things that happens during E3 the last several years when there was an E3 is Nintendo renting out the Hollywood Bowl, which is ridiculously expensive real estate. And be like, hey guys, we rent out the fucking Hollywood Bowl in order to stage the Nintendo World Championships.
Right.
Like they've done that twice. And it's a way to like have them create very focused attention on their products. And I think that like EVO is special in that like it brings very particular attention to competitive gaming,
Yeah.
And like you can certainly have your special like stage display where people are like playing Super Mario Maker in the Hollywood Bowl around the time of E3, and it's going to get a certain amount of mileage. But there's something about like Smash.
Well, like, if I'm going to be honest, like the Mario speedruns that they've done over the years didn't really feel as like especially competitive as like Smash is.
Right.
But one thing that I do see benefiting from like a change where like Nintendo would be put in a position where they need to treat competitive gaming a bit more seriously or like risk losing customers is a Splatoon may actually get a real competitive scene with its next iteration.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there's definitely people that play Splatoon competitively, especially like overseas. Like, there's a really big Japanese like scene and also like a substantial like Australian one for some reason. And for like them to get like an actual ecosystem to compete in that's backed by a company with like the funds and like reach of Nintendo could be an ostensibly good thing for them.
So I guess we will watch with bated breath to see what happens and what it is.
Yeah.
But something else that happened this week.
Things keep happening.
Yeah, they do. This is more the kind of video game news that video games wishes we would talk about, which is somebody tried to sell us things.
Oh, so this isn't like a thing where somebody's an asshole or they're trying to steal our money. This is like a positive or a semi-positive thing?
Well, this is someone trying to sell you things. Take that as you will. Your mileage may vary.
I do like being sold stuff, Brian.
Okay.
Do like being sold stuff.
Square Enix had a Square Enix Direct. ... I mean, Square Enix Presents. Like, it was in practice. I don't know if y'all watch this thing, but somebody sat down and was like, okay, can I copy your homework? Well, make sure you change it a little bit. Like, the presentation was a fucking Direct. It was a Direct.
Was it a good Direct? Did they at least, like, do a good job? Was it hype?
Well...
Or was it like PlayStation's Direct where they were like, here is a PowerPoint for our business team. Wow. How creative and innovative. Look at those things. Bob up and down. On to you.
Well, they opened with new Life is Strange game.
I thought we were done with Life is Strange. 1, 2,
We're
done.
not.
No? More zombie plants?
Life is Strange, True Colors. They also gave us a release date of September 10th. And this Life is Strange game will be different in that it will not be released episodically. They are going to drop the whole story at once.
Oh. Ooh.
Yeah, okay.
Which I think has a lot to do with like the weirdness that Life is Strange has encountered in dealing with like critical reception. Like Life is Strange is always a game which is like very, very highly regarded. People have nothing but nice things to say about the series, but because of the way it's released, like either that gets dulled by the time people get around to Game of the Year, or it'll end up straddling release years. Like they seem to shoot themselves in the foot with like dealing with critics. So they're releasing the game as a single installment, and they gave a little insight into like the protagonist power. I think the best description of it is just like super empathy. You know, like the main character has super empathy. The protagonist is a young Asian American woman. Immediately, the internet was like, oh, why is the game political? And like, I nearly had a stroke. Back to video game protagonists have two possible race selections, white and political. It felt incredibly poorly fucking timed to have everyone shitting on this, especially this week. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
The fact that anyone would even be like, why does this have to be political? And then...
Yeah, that's some bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to like getting back into more Life is Strange. From what I understand, this one is also not Don't Nod, but then again, Life is Strange Before the Storm was not Don't Nod, but I absolutely loved that game. I like Before the Storm more than I liked Life is Strange 1. It was just absolutely fantastic. So I'm not spooked by the idea of the development house on this not necessarily being Don't Nod. Because it seems like Square Enix has an understanding of the power of this property and treats the property with respect. Now, speaking of Don't Nod, though, the original Life is Strange is being remastered for current-gen consoles. The remaster is also going to include Life is Strange Before the Storm, and they will be included in the Ultimate Edition of Life is Strange True Colors.
Ooh.
When you get the big money edition of Life is Strange True Colors, you will get the remastered Life is Strange and Life is Strange
Before the Storm.
Before the Storm.
What about Life is Strange 2 and Captain Spirit?
Like, those kind of feel like the weird stepchildren at this point of the franchise, and I'm not sure if I'm into that. Like, that's not great.
They're good, though. They were fun.
Exactly.
I like Captain Spirit. Hey.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see, I guess.
So, True Colors is being developed by Deck 9, who did Before the Storm. So, looking forward to seeing more from them.
That's going to be good hands, at least.
Right, exactly.
I trust them.
It is not a new studio needing to prove that they understand what Life is Strange is. So, We found out more about Project Athia. It is not Project Athia. They actually told us the name of the game. Forspoken. What kind of weird fucking made up word is that?
Go ahead.
Hey Siri.
Hey Siri, is Forspoken a word?
Yes, Forspoken's a word. It's usually spelled with like an E after the R, but like, it's a word.
Siri, I can't spell. I can't spell.
Okay, it is a transitive verb which means to attract and fascinate.
Ah.
Yeah.
Or to cast a spell.
Nice.
Okay, shame on me. So Project Athia is Forspoken, and they showed a teaser video from the game, which also introduced the game's protagonist. Her name is Frey, and the way they introduced her was to have her like in a building when like a wall of the building gets knocked down and a giant dragon flying through the air, and she's like, that's a giant fucking dragon. So their teaser is like, here's 30 seconds of the game and here's the main character saying that's a giant fucking dragon, which I think apparently generated the buzz that they wanted, because as soon as they had this event, Twitter was full of people saying like, lol, that's a giant fucking dragon.
Yeah, this is one that Alex was definitely interested in.
Yeah, they seem to get accomplished what they needed to there. Talking a little bit about the game, showing a little bit of the world, like still nothing new on like how it works mechanically, but they seem to be teasing it out at the right pace there. So, Outlanders, that like loot shooter from People Can Fly, is launching on April 1st. And part of the announcement that was kind of like a big deal is that this like loot shooter is launching from Square Enix, is launching into Game Pass.
Oh.
Right. And I think people are used to the idea that like the only big AAA releases that would launch into Game Pass would be from Microsoft. And that like, we would see indie titles launch into Game Pass. Stuff from other publishers would, come sometime thereafter. So like it was kind of a big deal to be like, hey, this like big dollar Square title is going to launch into Game Pass. They showed the launch trailer for Balan Wonderworld, which is coming out this coming Friday. So that's my weekend set. Note to self, pre-order game once I get off this fucking radio program.
I'm surprised you didn't pre-order it right away.
I try to avoid, for the most part, pre-ordering video games anymore. This is like an exception to that rule.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
They showed that they're going to be adding a Wakanda environment and T'Challa to the Avengers game. Tragically, it will still be the Avengers game. Yeah, it doesn't really fix that.
Yeah, it really doesn't.
And here was the part where Brian got angry and yelled at his television. This is Tomb Raider's 25th anniversary, right?
Okay.
The Tomb Raider series is 25 years old. And so they announced a Tomb Raider anniversary collection.
What's in the Tomb Raider anniversary collection?
I'm glad you asked, Tegan. Let me tell you what's in the Tomb Raider anniversary collection.
I'm ready. Hit me with it.
It contains the Tomb Raider remake from 2013.
Okay.
Rise of the Tomb Raider from 2015. And Shadow of the Tomb Raider from 2018.
I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, we're missing some titles there.
Yeah. And in fact, you might want to say that, like, even if they didn't want to collect every Tomb Raider game, that maybe where you would start is, I don't know, fucking Tomb Raider from 1996?
I mean, maybe, perhaps,
Yeah.
That might make a little more sense.
But they are definitely having their cake and eating it too, saying, like, join with us in celebrating the 25th anniversary of Tomb Raider by pretending that any games before their reboot don't exist. Just, come on. Tomb Raider and Super Mario 64 came out the same year, and the difference between what the two accomplished in the implementation of physics is mind-blowing. I remember the first time I experienced the sensation of momentum in Tomb Raider. I was like, holy fuck! The way that, like, momentum worked and the fact that, like, I could, like, say, be sliding down an incline and you could use the speed that I was gathering from the slide when I launched myself to get a bigger jump. Like, there was stuff that didn't really feel possible before, like, movement in games. Like, Tomb Raider felt absolutely revelatory. And there's moments in the Tomb Raider series that feel like such a fucking huge deal. Like, that first time you see a T-Rex in a Tomb Raider game, you're like, oh, Jesus, God. Like, it's sort of like to take that stuff away and be like, just it's like, okay, the reboots are fine, but, like, the reboots are mainly informed by a desire to turn the Tomb Raider series into the Uncharted series. Like, Tomb Raider was its own thing before those reboots. They had their own look and feel. And, like, these reboots are, for the most part, looking at you, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, fine and good video games, but, like, I don't think they do what the original Tomb Raiders did well, which is, like, movement puzzles and giant, elaborate, like, 3D puzzle rooms. Like, there are definitely places where you move around in, like, later Zelda dungeons, later 3D Zelda dungeons, where you can see the influence of the way Tomb Raider built puzzles in 3D spaces in Zelda dungeons. You're like, oh, okay, like, somebody here, one of the biggest examples is the giant fucking elephant dungeon in Breath of the Wild, Traveling around inside of that space, I was like, somebody's played a lot of Tomb Raider. This feels like Tomb Raider. So it's a shame that the way Square Enix is noting Tomb Raider's 25th anniversary is by pretty much ignoring everything that makes Tomb Raider Tomb Raider. But whatever. It's their fucking company. And honestly, in a scale of things that companies do to offend me this week, that doesn't even make the top 3.
If I remember correctly, I think Square Enix might actually just not have the rights to the older games because they were developing.
They do. That's part of the gross part.
Huh.
They do. I checked that, Rocky.
Okay.
Because I was like, you know what? I'm like, let me make sure that they have an out on this. Like, if they could just, like, shrug and go, like, hey, everybody, we don't own them.
We'd like to, but meh. Oh,
yeah.
Jesus. Why is it? They just don't want to put the time into remastering them. That's got to be it, right?
Some part of me feels that answer deep in my bones. I think you might be right, Tegan.
I don't like being right.
When Crystal Dynamics acquired Eidos, all of the original Tomb Raider games were part of that acquisition. And then when Square Enix acquired Crystal Dynamics, all of that was part of the acquisition. So yeah, they own all the Tomb Raider games, lock, stock, and barrel. They announced Just Cause Mobile, which is, of course, like, not really a Just Cause game, but it uses the Just Cause IP, so whatever. It's a top-down shooter, 4-player competitive mode, and somehow, like, this is something I do not understand about Square Enix. I don't understand how, like, Taito continues to, like, operate completely free of the rest of the company with, like, zero supervision or oversight, doing exactly whatever the fuck they want, and, like, not just get folded into, like, the larger hellscape of just putting zippers on things. And
I bet that was part of their contract.
Like, I could see that.
It's like how Yoko Taro gets to do that thing where he wears the weird head all the time and he's not actually seen in public. Like, it's because it's in his contract, I'm sure.
Yeah, that seems conceivable because, like, Taito is such an old gaming company that I wonder if there was, like, some autonomy that was, like, granted them contractually. Because, like, at the end, they're like, hey, everybody, we own Taito, so here's a Taito announcement, which was Space Invaders, but AR, augmented reality Space Invaders, for your phone. Friends, I am here for augmented reality Space Invaders. I am 100% here for it. Taito does generally a pretty good job of being stewards of the things that they developed. And, like, there's probably very few video game series out there which are more quintessential to the history of games than Space Invaders. So if you want to give me an excuse to, like, fuck around and play more Space Invaders, I will fuck around and play more Space Invaders. So there you go. So I'm going to say, like, an okay direct style thingy. More Life is Strange all at once. Hurrah. That seems like good news.
Mm-hmm.
Forspoken does seem neat. The protagonist seems cool. I could totally... oh, gosh. I'm doing that thing where my brain forgets words again. Lady who hunts robot dinosaurs.
Horizon Zero Dawn.
No, I know that's the name of the game, but the lady. What's her name?
Aloy?
That's the one. I could see her doing shots with this Forspoken protagonist. You know, like they seem to share a vibe.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Like the stuff about like the Avengers game was like very like who cares? You know, like whatever. But I'm sure that there's some people out there who care about it. It's just a bad game. The Tomb Raider games in this collection are not, for the most part, I must emphasize that, they're not, for the most part, bad games. But it's still weird. There seems to be a lot of major video game anniversaries this year, which are not really getting celebrated in ways that like make sense to me.
I feel like if we hadn't spent the whole of the last year at home, they probably would have been. Or at least, like, the celebrations would have been, like, more in line with everything. But who knows? What do I know?
Like, yeah, like, Zelda's 35 years old. Metroid's 35 years old. Tomb Raider's 25 years old. You know what turns 20 this year? Fucking Halo. 20th anniversary of Halo. I need to see Phil Spencer come out in full Cortana body paint telling me that it's Halo's 20th anniversary.
No, they're going to do it next year when they can buy a Halo a beer. No one will question it.
Okay.
I could see that.
We're going to take Halo out to get a cool tribal tattoo and a Twisted CD.
Oh, you can get a tribal tattoo. That can happen.
Okay. Grand Theft Auto 3 is 20 years old this year. I am surprised that 2K is missing an opportunity to sell everybody Grand Theft Auto 3 again. I'm sure if they were like Grand Theft Auto 3, super duper fucking remastered for your brand spanking new PS5s and Xbox Series X's, people would be like, I cannot wait to play this 20-year-old game on these machines. Where is it? All these giant anniversaries. Come on. Market to me the way I want to be marketed to.
There it is. Oh, God.
Rocky, take us home.
Yeah, everyone, this has been our show. It's called Impossible Coin. We do it every week. You can find us wherever podcasts are found, on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, and SoundCloud. Guys, can you hit SoundCloud for me real quick?
Fuck SoundCloud!
Speaking of SoundCloud, the music at the beginning and end of this podcast was produced by our friend Big Sach. You can find his work at soundcloud.com/BigSachNJ or find him on Twitter at Hillary_Swank. Our logo is also a t-shirt. It was designed by Lauren Moran. You can find her on Twitter at Lauren Moran and consider donating to her Patreon. She does good work. And speaking of Patreon, we have one of those too at patreon.com/ImpossibleCoin Podcast, where you'll find our watch-alongs, our premium audio essays, and things that we care about, like anime and wrestling. If you want to talk to anyone specifically, you can find us on social media. I'm on Facebook and Instagram. Brian's on Twitter. Tegan's on Tumblr. It's all Impossible Coin. No underscores or dashes or anything weird like that, but that's us. That's the show.
And there's a lot of it. It's beefy. Enjoy the beef. Peace.
Bye.
Later.
Suck.